led by President Earl, along with Marcus Daniel. Marcus is our former cricketer. He is now from the administration. His days are over. So welcome Marcus, welcome to the benches. So we can have a prayer. We delivered Mr. Brian Brown, following which we will have the national anthem.
Right. Ready for me? This one here? Let me see, boy.
Right, so let me say good afternoon to viewers of Tobago Sports Live. We are live at the Sidgway Sporting Complex in Roxborough, and it's all about the Tobago Cricket Association T20 final, all in the name of Earl Arthur. And we are already into the second over of this contest. Roxborough Strikers, they won the toss and they opted to field first. And we got a delayed start because of some persistent rain, but from where I sit right about now, it looks a bit clear for the rest of the afternoon. Slight drizzle still, but it looks like it's going to clear up from where the rain normally comes from. Already the first over, 24 runs from that, in fact 25 runs from that first over bowled by Adrian Alexander. And we are now seeing Joshua Alexis from the, what I want to call the C end. He's bowling now to Rashan Ford. And Ford, 23 off of that first over. They're going to get a single here down to long on, fielded there by Mark David. That's Mark David down there and a long on. It brings now Nicholas Sukhdev Singh on strike. Very wet day here at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. And both teams have agreed to play despite the wet conditions. And you know, once we have a final and it's rained out and can't have a completion, more than likely the teams will have to share the title. And I think both teams, they want to represent here today and take the title solely. Umpires Neeskit and Ronnie McKenna, they are calling the covers on, so we're going to have another delay. This is over number 2 already, 1.2 overs, and the rain intervene once again. So just in case you're joining us, this is live coverage of the Earl Arthur T20 final at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. The Roxborough Strikers won the toss and they opted to field first. Scarborough Mason Hall looking for a clean sweep of titles in the Tobago Cricket Association League this year, having already won the 2-day league and the 40 overs title. And they are here in the Earl Arthur T20 tournament final, looking to make it 3 out of 3. But at this time we do have it looks like it's going to be a short delay. From where I can tell you, it's a dark cloud just over. I think once that passes over, we're going to have a resumption of play with Scarborough Mason already off to a flying start. 27 without loss. The opening batters, Rashad Ford, the big Bajan, leading the charge for Scarborough Mason. 3 sixes and a 4 in that opening over, bowled by Adrian Alexander. And he's on 24, Nicholas Sukhdev Singh on 1. And I can tell you the conditions are not the best, not 100%. But it's really good commitment by both teams to still attempt to have a final here. And we have come to this situation here always at Roxborough. Once there's a final, they're going to have rain intervene and we're going to have some delays. The last time I was here for a T10 final, the Chief Secretary's Bago T10, we had a situation where teams had to split the title, share the trophy, share the prize. I don't think these two teams here today don't want to share any prize, so they're going to go to any extent to ensure that they have some form of play. We can go right down to 5 overs. We do have lights at the venue, but not really conducive for night cricket. It's just about 2:31 in the Trinidad and Tobago, so we can go until natural light, which I think will last up until like 6 p.m. So we do have at least 3.5 hours to complete a match. As mentioned before, we can get down to a 5 overs affair. And these two teams, no strangers. Both teams came out of the group stages having won 5 games. Scarborough Mason only defeat came at the hands of Roxborough Strikers. So I'm really expecting a good final here. And the Roxborough Strikers, their only defeat came against CMB United. And Scarborough Mason they booked their direct spot to the final, having topped the table with 10 points. With a better net run rate than Roxborough Strikers. And Roxborough Strikers having to play that qualifier game against Tobago Police, in which they easily got home. And I'm expecting some really good cricket here today. We do have the leading run scorer in this contest. and not in this contest, but in this tournament, Jason Posad with the Roxborough Strikers, he's leading the charge with 261 runs. And also featuring high up for Scarborough Mason Hall, Levan Lizama with 194 runs. And the next person featured in this contest, we have Israel Modest, 151 runs for Roxborough Strikers. Akil Clark, he returns for Roxborough Strikers today. He missed a couple games in the playoffs and in the preliminary round, but he's back here this afternoon for Roxborough Strikers, and I think that will be a really big boost for their batting. Roxborough Striker, he has 128 runs to his name. The next best for Scarborough Mason, 104. That's Shaquille Duncan, very, very handy Shaquille Duncan, and he's having a really good all-round year for Scarborough Mason. He's leading the charge with the bowling hand in this tournament, 14 wickets to his name. That's Shaquille Duncan, and next to him with 10 wickets, Zion James, young Zion James, the off spinner, with 10 wickets. The sun is back out in all his glory. I don't know if you guys can pick it up on the camera, but the sun is out and it's beaming with pride here at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. I'm sure you can hear the background music as well. We just have some people still coming in at the Sidgway Sporting Complex, and we expect a really good crowd later on today. Two of the best teams in the Earl Arthur T20 tournament, they clash here today, and I'm sure we're going to try our very best to get in 20 overs for you guys. But don't forget, you can share the live here today, Tobago Sports Live. You can like the Tobago Sports Live page. Shout out to the Porters, Kerry Porter and Mrs. Porter, they are here. Marcus Daniel, Mr. Cricket, I'm here. Hoping to be joined later on by Antonio Providence, not Antonio Providence, but Antonio Jordan, to provide to you all that's happening right here at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. It's been a very long season. This is the final match of the Tobago Cricket Association 2026 season, and I can tell you that the cricketers have really enjoyed the season. Scarborough Mason winning the two-day league, followed by CMB United. Then Scarborough Mason defeating CMB United in the 40 overs final right here in beautiful Roxborough. Who's going to take the title today in this Earl Arthur T20 tournament? The batters, Rashad Ford and Nicholas Sukhdeo Singh, already making their way back out. Umpires out there as well. Fielding team out there as well. So we're going to get a resumption of play, and I can tell you, based on my experience here at Sidgway Sporting Complex, I don't think we'll have any further interruptions. But don't quote me on that whatsoever. I'm not a meteorologist whatsoever. But based on experience here in Sidgway Sporting Complex, I think we are good to go for the remainder of the afternoon. As Porter makes his way back up to the main camera. What I can tell you, as I said earlier, the outfield not 100%, but both teams have agreed to still have a final here. It's quite commendable. Quite commendable. So I was giving you the rundown in terms of some of the stats. Shaquille Duncan, 14 wickets. Zion James, 10 wickets. And we also have Rashad Ford, that fast bowler, opening the bowling for not for Barbados, but for Scarborough Mason, 8 wickets to his name. And the next best for, in fact, in the top 10, we have Quinton Brooks, the left-arm orthodox spinner for Roxborough Strikers on 8 wickets. A top score, the player with the top score, Joshua James. In that solitary game he has played for Scarborough Mason, Joshua James, our national player. Congratulations to him, lifting the regional 4-day title with our national team. It's been a number of years since Trinidad and Tobago lifted that title, and Joshua James, the lone player out of Tobago, featured in that history-making title run. And he's here today for Scarborough Mason. Came the last game and blasted 93 not out. So he has the highest individual score. And right behind him, Jason Posad, tournament's leading run scorer, a score of 90. So lots of power hitting and great batting and bowling to come in this contest, and we expect a really good contest, a closely fought contest. And it seems that we are all set. We're all set to return, and we have a Clinton Brooks, a long-standing Roxborough Strikers player. You really got to commend him for keeping the fight on for Roxborough Strikers. So we are about to have a resumption here. Joshua Alexis from the CN comes in to bowl to Nicholas Sukhdeo Singh, and playing out 1-2 points and gets an easy single. And feel it there. And the man they call Crook. Single taken. The score now up to 28. We are into over a number 2. So the outfield is expected to be a bit on the slower side. We're into the power play, still 6 overs of the power play. Alexis, a man they call Shonto, very handy with his off breaks. This is Rashad Ford right behind that one. Already 3 sixes in the first over. Rashad Ford very strong down the ground. And that's a short tool, just ensuring that he varies his pace and gets his deliveries on the right length. Rashad down the ground, driving brilliantly. This one is going to challenge the boundary, and it gets in now. This time not aerial, just stepping forward there and striking it down past the middle fielder. No chance in stopping that one despite the slow outfield. And Ford now powers on to 28 of just 10 balls. Already 2 4s and 3 6s to his name, Rashad Ford, representing here for Scarborough Mason Hall, as the score rushes up to 32 without loss in over number 2. One legal delivery remaining in this over number 2 as Alexis from the CN comes again to Ford. And Ford is trying to muscle that one down the ground again. Gets the inner part of the bat and feel it there in corner. That's Israel Modest. And only 1 run taken off that final delivery. And brings an end over number 2. At the end of it, Scarborough Mason Hall inserted by Roxborough Strikers. 33 without loss here at the St. Grace Sporting Complex. Live action brought to you by Tobago Sports Live. Scarborough Mason Hall taking on Roxborough Strikers. And now we're getting ready to see Quinton Brooks, the left arm spinner. 8 wickets to his name thus far in this tournament. He'll want to get a wicket here to settle the nerves of Roxborough Strikers. They've been having a really good season. Roxborough Strikers, 3rd place in the 40 overs and 4th place in the 2 days. This is now Brooks, the younger of the 2 Brooks on the field there. That's wide, called there by umpire Neil Skeet. Quinton Brooks and his father Clinton Brooks behind the stumps, better known as Bolivar. And Quinton again to Rashad Ford. Ford hitting this one in the air, and he's going to be taken at the end of Rashad Ford. What a breakthrough there by Quinton Brooks, and he gets rid of the dangerous Rashad Ford. And there was Ford attempting yet another big hit, but he has to make his way back, caught there by McDavid. At point, a really good breakthrough there by Quinton Brooks, getting his 9th wicket, and what an important wicket there of Rashad Ford. 29 he made off 11 deliveries, 2 4s and 3 6s. And Roxborough Strikers, they have finally gotten their first strike here. And a really good bowling change here from the captain, Jason Passard. And Quinton Brooks off his first legal delivery, the first delivery being a wide. He got that big wicket of Rashad Ford, attempting yet another big hit down the ground. I think that one held up in the pitch a bit and got a bit of turn on it and hit the outside part of the bat and taken easily there by Nathaniel McDavid in a backward point there. And in walks former national under-19 captain Orlando James. Orlando James, Martin here at number 3 for Scarborough Mason Hall, the captain. And still a ring of feelers on the offside there set by Passard. He got a long on and a corner. And that will indicate some turn and purchase in the pitch. A really good toss to win. The pitch looked on the drier side of things, but obviously rain yesterday and this morning. Expect some moisture in the pitch. A good start by Brooks to James in this second, in fact this 3rd over. Sitting just back of a length. I think that was the straighter, faster one. He has a really quick delivery, Quinton Brooks. And comes away, runs away from us here at the pavilion end. Another good delivery, a bit straighter and wide call by umpire Skeet. And to the disappointment of the fielding team, Brooks again to James. And James pushing forward to that one. No single on offer there. Very alert. McDavid. And backward point there. Stumps broken. An appeal but not out, says umpire. Ronnie McKenna. Score remains on 34-1. We are into over number 3. James striking this one powerfully. Is going to run into the boundary. Just missing his length there. And that's the quality and class of Orlando James. Stepping into that one and hitting it over cover. 4 runs. 1 bounce into the boundary. And despite the loss of that wicket in the over, James and Scarborough Mason, they are still playing all their shots. You know, want to maximize this power play. And Brooks will do very good to get back to that length, just back of a length to Orlando James. Here he comes again. James back on the back foot, punching that one, and that's a better delivery there by Quinton Brooks. And a play there by James. Score 39-1. Just about 15 runs and over scoring at here for Scarborough Mason. All 2 legal deliveries in this over. James getting back to that one. Much better length there by Quinton Brooks. And that's going to bring to an end over number 3. He scored 39-1. 39-1, and we're going to have a short tour to continue here from the sea end. Have a slight drizzle. Going to cross the ground again. I don't think it's any concern of the umpires just yet. Sukhdev Singh to face only his 3rd delivery. Trying to cut that one too close to him. Misses and taken comfortably there by Quinton Brooks, and they're going to go off once again. Someone once told me that the best spectator for cricket is rain. It have been joined here by Antonio Jordan. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Jordan.
Good afternoon, Marcus. How are you, sir?
I'm a bit on the cooler side of things, but I'm happy to be here today.
Me as well, and I'm very honored to have this opportunity to call this TCA T20 finals here at the Sid Grey Sporting Complex. And how has it been thus far? Because I'm just reached and I'm not sure exactly.
Well, you missed an opening over of 24 runs. In fact, 23 runs off the bat of Rashad Ford, 3 sixes in that over, and a boundary. He dealt some big blows off the bowling of Adrian Alexander, and then he got dismissed, attempting yet another big one of the bowling of Quinton Brooks. But it has been, those days when we have the interruption of rain, and obviously we are into the rainy season, so it's quite expected, and I'm happy that this is our final match of the 2026 season.
Well, I'm glad to say that I'm not really surprised that Mr. Beige, as I would call him, as we know him locally here in Tobago, the Big Beige, the Bajan, he's a very aggressive batsman, so it's expected that he would want to get a good start, and he's very aggressive, so it's not surprising that he's out as well, because he doesn't actually hold back.
And it's interesting that they have him atop the order. Throughout the season we saw him coming in at 6 and 7, but I'm thinking because of the T20 format and with the power play, Scarborough Mason obviously looking to maximize the power play. They had him on top of the order, and I think he would have done extremely well, getting to 29 of 11 deliveries, because that's what you want here.
You would take that. That's even better than a cameo, actually. That's a very good start.
Fantastic. And then with this batting lineup of Scarborough Mason, the likes of Joshua James, Levon Lizama, Shaquille Duncan, Orlando James, Jaden Kent, a number of competent cricketers across Tobago, and not only Tobago but Trinidad and Tobago, because in those names we have players who would have represented the country at the different age group levels. And to come here and represent Scarborough Mason, you don't want to get the opportunity to go and bat and you go and soak up deliveries and have such power and talent in the tank.
Yes, I would have played with these guys as well because I'm also a member of the TCA association where the players is concerned. I actually captain the Georgia Police Youth Club cricket team, so I would have played in the same season here as well with these guys, and I know the kind of capabilities, and these guys very talented, especially the contingent of more international players that they have like Joshua James and the James brothers and Mr. Sukhdeo Singh.
Yeah, Nicholas. I didn't mention Nicholas at all. Former national player.
Yes,
Should we say former national player, former national opener? Very destructive as well.
Yeah, you don't want these guys to get off to us that they could actually take the game away. So.
Yeah, and Sukhdeo Singh in the 40 overs final against CMB United got a half century, and he was declared the man of the match in that game. So he adds experience and the explosive power atop the order. And I really want to commend the Scarborough Masonol team because the players that you see are excelling now. The local, when I say local players, the Joshua James, Orlando James, Jaden Kent. I mean, in that sense, you don't have to go and probably look for big players outside of Tobago because you have big players from right here who you would have actually nurtured and they are now giving back to the club. Joshua James, Orlando James, Shaquille and all these guys.
Yeah, okay, I understand that, and that's the differences. Because I wanted to ask you as well, who do you think are really the star players here we have on show that really going to impact the game in this final?
Yeah, I mean, we saw one already, Rashad Ford. I think if we had asked him that before the game started, his name would have been the first name I would have mentioned because he's good in the field, good with the ball, and he's very dangerous with the bat. And with a guy like him, he can change the game in 1 or 2 overs. And obviously, you expect Joshua James already with the game that he would have played. He scored a 93 unbeaten and a number of sixes hit and lost several balls in that game against Tobago Police in Shaw Park. So I expected Rashad Ford, Joshua James, one of the other batters there, Orlando James out the middle as well.
Really power pack lineup.
Yeah.
When you really watch it, is a very dangerous batting lineup to be facing. And I think the Roxborough team actually think bowling is the strength, probably why they would have won the toss and insert them because they're probably back in the bowling more. Yeah,
and I'm happy that you mentioned that here because I mean I represent CMB United and Roxborough strikers got the better of us. I remember the first game we played up here in the 2-day format. We won on first inning by 1 run, and then they came from behind and they having lost first inning, they still won the game outright, and then they defeated us in the 4th overs preliminary round, and that is by virtue of us batting first. Yes, Roxborough strikers batting first, putting a score on the board, and because of their strong bowling lineup, they would have restricted us and go on to win the game. We have a resumption here, Jordan, and it's a really good start. Again, this is over number 4 and short to having a really good season here for the strikers, and I think he's a really good bowler to Sukhdeo Singh, taking the ball away from Sukhdeo Singh.
One of the additions to the Roxborough strikers this season, who probably playing his first season for Roxborough, and some of the reasons why they probably reached to the finals, some of these good players that they would have accumulated over that period of time.
A shot 2 again to Sukhdeo Singh, still a swing and a miss, and this is a really good start to over number 4 here by shot 2. And if it is that you want to look for a weakness in Sukhdeo Singh, I think that's the area you want to bowl. Some would say that he is very strong behind point, but if it is that you can get that ball to pitch and just move away from the bat like that, it's a really good 4th over here by short 2, pulling things back nicely here for the strikers.
Very good option to the left-handed batsman, because he's going to be able to get that ball to move away a little bit, like you say, and it's going to make it harder. He doesn't play through the offside as well as he might on the leg side because he's very dangerous on the slug sweep. I've seen him play.
So. And the field is set really good for him there. And that's a really good delivery again. Still no run scored of this over.
Yeah, he's very hesitant to the offside, and I think Roxborough strikers and Jason Prasad knows this, so that's why they would have chosen him to come on to the attack right now.
49 for 1 in over number 4. Still one legal delivery as Alexis comes up again and just dropping it in front of him. That's the experience of Sukhdeo Singh. That's the experience right there. And I mean, it's very important that rotate strike despite the good bowling, and it brings an end over number 4, 40 for 1. I think that represents exactly 10 runs and over scored here by Scarborough Masonol, inserted by Roxborough strikers. Antonio.
Yes, Marcus. A very good start by the Scarborough Masonol team. I think they are favourites here to win, but obviously the Roxborough Strikers, with the different players that they would have, like I said, added to their team. Guys like Akil Clark, very dangerous players, you understand what I'm saying? So they're going to give themselves a chance here by obviously they're backing their strength and trying to restrict them to a total so that they could possibly stand as good a chance as any too.
It's going to be Quinton Brooks again from the, should I call the pavilion end? And he's going to be bowling to the left-handed Sukhdev Singh, and I think Sukhdev Singh will favour this type of bowling with the ball coming back into him, well, with the perceived spin back into him. And Quinton does have that straighter one. Brooks to it's a loud appeal here for leg before, and umpire's key remains unmoved. Cow corner long on set here for Sukhdev Singh. He has that lap over backward square leg or down to fine leg there, Sukhdev Singh. This is Brooks again to Sukhdev Singh, nice and tight here by Quinton.
Yeah, so we're into the fifth over here. It's back to Quinton Brooks. A very deceptive bowler by nature because he does bowl it a little faster than a usual spinner. So you had to be careful when it comes to the straighter one as well. You know, so.
And we see the rag being employed here by Roxborough Strikers. Outfield being a bit on the wet side. This time he's working this one out to the square leg. He gets one, looking for two. Are they going to get them a quite single here? And yes, 2 runs taken there. And all a run there between James and Sukhdev Singh. The man giving chase there, Mark David. That was well worked by Sukhdev Singh. And, you know, he's very experienced in Nicholas Sukhdev Singh. He understands that, you know, in between the bad deliveries, there will be some good deliveries as well. I need to soak it up, but still rotate strike.
It's very important for them to look for a breakthrough here because this is a dangerous partnership with this combination of, you're going to see very good running. Yeah, because Orlando James is definitely one of the better runners between the wickets, and you know Sukhdev Singh is going to put some pressure on him to make sure they pick up some singles as well as.
I was wondering when that shot would actually come out. That hug to corner just didn't get the timing that he was after there. As I mentioned earlier, given the rains yesterday and today, you expect that the pitch will be on the slower side of things. So it's just getting to the pitch of the ball and try to maximize on that. But a really good over here so far from young Quinton. A good spell thus far. He's here to James. Right back on that length behind that one competently. Orlando James pushing it out to cover Marcus and Sincere. Right behind that one.
And being a Marcus as well, what do you think he brings to the team as a player? You know, the other Marcus?
I think Marcus is the motivator in the team. When they go and get stuff, he's motivating the... And it's Orlando down the gong. Magnificent. Is it going to be 60? Yes, it now hits the wall. Straight back here. And when in doubt, you go straight and you go big. Just missing his length a bit there. Quinton Brooks and Orlando James quick to punks on that one. And that's a big hit. And brings up a 6 to end over number 5.
Yeah, that's a TCA maximum. I'm going to call that a TCA maximum.
Yeah, I like the song of that one.
We're going to call it a TCA maximum from the Big Lynn, as we call him here also locally. And I want to ask you, how important is the power play in this T20 format different to all the other formats?
There's a 49 for 1 at the end of 5. And with the power play, obviously 2 players outside the 30-yard circle. Very important for the batting team to try to maximize the use of, well, what should I say? Not having 5 fielders in the deep, and you'll want to get a good start. Set up the other batters to come later on in the inning. You know, so it's very, very important to the batting team to get a good start. And with 6 overs of power play, you'll think that anywhere in the region of 60, 70, 80, you'll expect that will be a good representation of a good start. Having lost probably 1 or 2 wickets. Because some teams, they are willing to sacrifice 2 or 3 wickets in the power play to get that score of 80 or 90 in the power play, which would lead in the middle overs to your other batters coming in and getting a good foundation to which to launch on.
Okay, you have short over from we call it the CN.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Roxborough CN. He's into James Bowles. I think that one is down the leg side. They're going to get leg by. Yeah, a leg by there. So the score moves on to 51. Here in over number 6, the final over the power play.
Yes, and of course that single to start the over by Sukhdev Singh brought up the 50 in quick time from Scarborough Masonol. Sukhdev Singh still there on 7 from 13 balls.
And as we're still in the power play, I just want to mention how you talk about wickets. So as important as it is for the batting team, for the bowling team as well, you want to get your best bowlers to bowl these overs.
This time down the ground powerfully there.
Looks like
And
it's going to be
running to the boundary for 4. And despite the heavy outfield here, Sukhdev Singh, once you give him that room to free his arms, he's going to obviously accept it and striking it down the ground. And if it's one thing about this Scarborough Mason batters thus far, they have employed hitting the ball down the ground, and which is a really good and very productive way to go down the ground for 4. Score up to 55 now.
short again. I think he missed his length and he's back on it right now as I speak about it, because he tried to get greedy and probably go for the wicket more or less than continue on the good let he was bowling team in the first over that he did. So that's probably why you see he was able to play that easy shot.
Yeah, and we have seen so far from the bowlers, once you are able to competently hit that length, that back of a length and vary your pace, I think it will prove very productive for the bowlers. And once you get too full, the batters are willing to just free their arms down the ground. This is short two again. I think that was the attempted leg break, and he's powerfully hitting this one.
Now that's Timmy getting a bit lazy there. I think that's...
That was that a jump chance?
Yeah, a lazy attempt, you didn't see? It was very lazy by Timmy, just moving. They see the bowler is very disturbed. And
how costly will that be? Orlando James dropped on 10.
By Timmy. I mean, it wasn't the easiest chance, but
you mentioned they were very timid behind that.
Yeah.
Behind that one. And I mean, this is the final.
Yeah, you had to be switched on all the time. And I believe that because it's a final, each player is supposed to know that you have to be switched on all the time.
This is a load appeal and he's gone! Shot against the big wicket there of Orlando James. I think that was the leg spinner.
And he put him to sleep, watch. He put him to sleep.
Leg spinner there by Joshua Alexis. And there was Orlando James attempting to try to guide that one down to third man for a single, but he only resulted in getting an edge. And what a catch there by Clinton Brooks at the stumps. Yet another wicket down for Scarborough Mason. It's now 58 for 2.
No surprise, it's a very dependable Bolivar behind the stumps, taking a relatively easy catch there because it seemed to be a fine edge. Wait, he's still celebrating. He's actually now making his way back on to the rest of his teammates because he knows that's an important wicket for their team. Yeah, very good.
So it wasn't costly. That drop catch wasn't costly to the Roxborough strikers. And Joshua Alexis bailing out his teammate Adrian Alexander there this time.
Well, you better buy him a Guinness later.
And we walk into the crease, the veteran in the game, Leon Lizamo, the man from Booker Point, having a good season with the bat. And he's known to be the opening batter for Scarborough Mason, but obviously with this T20 format, and as I mentioned earlier about getting a really good platform or a foundation in which to launch on later on, with the likes of Joshua James and Rashad Ford in the team, they would have opted to have Rashad Ford atop the order with Nicholas Sukhdev Singh. And this is now the man they call Leon Lizamo, veteran in the game, coming down the order. 194 runs already, in fact, scored in this year's tournament for Scarborough Mason. Top score of 44, in fact 61 this season. And what can he do here now against Nicholas Alexis with his tail up here for Roxborough Strikers? In fact, that was the end of the power play, and that was the end of the over. We are now into over number 7, 58 for 2 the score. This is Israel Modest now. Right arm off spinner, and he's going to bowl here to Sukhdev Singh, driving there to Jason Posada at cover, supported there by the teammates. Yeah, and with the field now spread along Jordan, and got a cold corner. In fact, a deep mid wicket, a cold corner, long on, long off, and we have somebody out on the cover boundary. And back on the point, a slip, a cover point, a man in cover.
Relatively average field because that's the normal field you would set to this kind of bowler, because as the power play is on,
down the leg side and Sukhdev Singh smashing that one.
Maximum. Another TCA maximum by Sukhdev Singh. Like I said, the slug sweep.
You just can't miss your length with Sukhdev Singh, and that was heading down the leg side, and there was Sukhdev Singh not missing out on that one, and that one hit the wall very hard and rebounded back onto the field of play. Yet another maximum, a TCA maximum. And Modest will want to get back on the right line here to Sukhdev Singh. And despite being out of the power play, Sukhdev Singh still playing his shots. A good comeback there by Modest.
And like his name says, he's a very modest bowler when it comes to how he approaches the game. He actually will be more of an attacking option in a sense, because you're not going to block some of the deliveries he be throwing at you. So, like I said, I play against these guys, so I have a clear idea of what he's trying to do. He's just going to try to throw it up and hope he plays a bad shot.
Sukhdev Singh driving again.
But that's a
Picking
great
the
shot.
gap. That's a magnificent shot again, Mike. Sukhdev Singh. And he's turning it on here for Scarborough Mason Hall. Entertaining the crowd here at the Sidgray Sporting Complex. This time he got some width outside the off stump. And there was Sukhdev Singh with all the power leaning back and picking the gap. There was one guy on the boundary. That's Joshua Alexis, but not fast enough to get around there. Yet another boundary. And the score now up to 64 for 2. Sukhdev Singh. Already 10 runs in this 7th over. There's Modest again. How will he be responding? That's a good comeback there. That's the length and line. And the speed you got to bowl to Nicholas Sukhdev Singh. You need to back your length a bit, not getting too full. And the boundaries here, Antonio, not too big.
Yeah, just about the normal size that it is normally. I think the players will back themselves to play it comfortably once they play the right shot. But like I say, Modest, very good delivery there to finish.
And driving there to Passad.
The 7th over, the score is 68 for 2. Yeah, 68 for 2 after 7 overs.
68 for 2 at the end of 7. Scarborough Mason Hall inserted by Roxborough strikers. I think that Scarborough Mason Hall going to be the happy of the two teams at this point, Antonio?
Yeah, well, I guess Roxborough would be relatively happy that the damage isn't as bad as it could be. They're going at about 9 runs over here in the 8th over, it looks like. So, not a bad start, as I would say. They're looking to get wickets here probably and try to restrict this team to a relatively easy total for them to chase.
Alexis into his final over. 3 overs, 1 for 17 so far. Antonio, you're also into World Cup season. And we're getting ready for the first match on match day 9. USA taking on Australia. Who are you supporting, Antonio, in the World Cup?
Well, I have my first choice team, which is obviously France. I think that Mbappe and these kind of players that they have right now, it's probably their time where the football is concerned. But secondary, I'm a strong Portugal supporter. So
that's a really good team, Antonio.
Portugal, yeah.
You did well there.
No, that's my second team, Portugal. I give France the edge because I think that's a lovely shot looking through the offside here by Lezama, fielded on the boundary by McDavid.
And Lezama off the mark with that shot down the ground. And that's a strong point of Lezama. And he is yet another batter you can't get too close to and allow him to free his arm. And very strong down the ground.
I think he was more favourable on the top of the order as he's probably more used to that position. I don't know, but it probably paid off because Rashad Ford, like you said.
I think Leon has a lot of experience and he can adjust no matter where in the inning he's placed. You know, when you have someone with the experience of Leon Lezama, played in England, played a number of years in Trinidad with Mary Boys, and he's here giving his experience at Scarborough Mason Hall. I know the youngsters with Scarborough Mason Hall, Zion James and Orlando, they are learning a lot from him in how to construct an inning, rotation of strike as well.
Yeah, as we have, like I say, Shorto into his last over here, trying to finish. He has figures of 3 overs, 1 for 17. He's going to Lezama. That's a lovely shot there through the gap past point. They get one, fielded by Modest. Back to the keeper, Bolivar, and yeah, they get one. So the score moves on to 69 for 2 here in over number 8. A very good start by the Scarborough Mason Hall team. I think obviously they're going to be the favourites here because, like I said, power packing batting lineup and very good bowling lineup as well. So the Roxborough strikers have to come guns here. Jason had to pull a rabbit out the hat as I see taking it off from the field there, trying to look for the rabbit. But, you know, like I say, he's a very experienced captain, so he's going to try his best to utilize whatever options he has here to try to provide a breakthrough for his team and try to get in the game now, boy, because it really doesn't allow the next team to get ahead of you. Then, you know, you end up in a very difficult position to come back from. So
at the end of 8, the score 72 for 2. Exactly 9 runs and over scored here by Scarborough Mason Hall. The projected score 180. And I think 180 here.
How much is
gonna
enough?
Be a challenging score if they get to 180. And with this Scarborough Mason Hall team, a number of all-rounders in the team, very competent with ball in hand as well. They do have the leading wicket taker and Shaquille Duncan. We're getting ready to see Jason Passad enter the attack here.
And as I mentioned it, you see he's trying to pull this rabbit, as I mentioned, out the hat because
with his off spin.
Part-time.
He's going bowling here
oh
too.
My Lord.
And he starts with a full delivery. And we expect that it's going to be a bit challenging for the spinners given the wetness of the outfield. They do have the rag out there, but they want to keep that seam dry, and it's going to be very difficult to keep the seam dry. There's no dry spot on the outfield whatsoever. And what the outfielders will want to do is get the ball in the air, not on the one bounce.
Knowing Jason, he's just really trying to create a different option to bowl to this batsman right now because
he's another full toss and he's pulling this one out to Marcus Sincere in corner, but only one run. I think he will be very happy, Jason Posada, with the result in that delivery. It was a full delivery.
2 full tosses in a row, actually, Marcus, because like you see, he's just trying to throw it up there and hope that the batsman play a bad shot. So
he's not capitalizing on that one. I'm sure he's telling himself he missed out on an additional 5 runs there. 1 run. And Jason will want to get a good grip on that wet ball. Here comes again. This is in the air. And it's going to evade the fielders at point and backward point. 1 taken so far. And only 1 run it will be. This is over number 9 in this T20 affair. No overs cut. And a really commendable effort by the umpires.
Yeah, the score moves on to 75 for 2. Here in over number 9, Jason Prasad in the attack trying to somehow buy a wicket here because, like I said, Scarborough off to a very good start here, Marcus. So let's see what he has. He's into Lizama. Another one is played through the offside. Did get a single. So not a bad start by Jason here. A couple of singles in the over, and he's gonna take that because the rate they're going at, you really want to pull it back to give yourself a proper chance. So
do you sing on 25 of 25 balls? He's now gonna face up here to Pasal. And Sukhdev Singh hitting this one. I think this one is going to challenge the boundary. It's going to get there now.
Just short.
And that's another boundary off the bat of Sukhdev Singh. It just can't give him that width outside the off stump. And very unorthodox when it comes to striking that ball over point or behind point. Only weight on the back foot, but he opens the face of the bat on contact. And he gets another boundary. 29 to him now. And yet another boundary here for Scarborough Mason Hall.
Very classy batsman, Mr. Sukhdev Singh, as I call him, Mr. Sukhdev Singh, because he's very dangerous. If you give him a start, he's going to take it and really take the game away from you. So it's a wicket that you really want to get. You can't allow him to bat all the overs because you're going to be chasing a very big total if you allow that class of caliber of batsman to get off at you. So
and next, a change in the field by Prasad. And now employing someone out in the backward point boundary there. And Jason getting back to that good length and a good result to end the over. And the end of over. And that's what you want. You want to let the batsman create their own pace, get to the pitch of the ball. Don't give them that weight, don't give them that full delivery to free the arms.
So it's Modest in the attack again, bowling modestly.
And that's what you don't want. You don't want to get too full.
He's going to go for a... Is it a TCA maximum, Marcus? I see the umpire hands in here. TCA maximum for Sukdio Singh, like you said again, a very dangerous batsman, and the option of modest is actually very modest, like you say, his name says, because Sukdio Singh is a very dangerous batsman, but it's still a good option because he's going to be attacking. So the Roxborough team probably just hoping he plays a bad shot because he's going to be aggressive against this kind of bowler right now. So let's see how it goes. Coming from the Roxborough CN. They're on a good length. They're going to get a quick single. Just dropping it in the offside, and easy single for Sukdio Singh there. He moves on to 31 from 28 deliveries. Actually, so he's scoring at a strike rate of 107. Is that a good strike rate, Marcus?
He's actually up to 37 from 30 balls. Well, 3 fours and 2 sixes. His name 88 for 2 into the 10th over the halfway stage in this first inning. And Modest pulling his length back there. And Lezama stroking that one down too long and fielded there by, it looks to be Akil Clark. As we see the Seabirds overhead into the 10th over. Roxborough Strikers won the toss earlier and invited Scarborough Mason to halfway strike. Sukdio Singh opening the bat, and he's still there. This is in the air. And if you want to call that placement, that's a really good.
Well, fortune always favors the brave
for a single layer by Sukdio Singh at the end of over number 10. Again, scored at exactly 9 runs and over. They score 90 for 2. Scarborough Mason batting first here. Sukdio Singh up to 38 from 31 balls. And Lezama, he's there on 6 from 8.
So like I said, we're going to talk strike rate. What strike rate is a good T20 strike rate in your opinion, Marcus?
When I say strike rate, in terms of a batter?
Yeah, batsman.
I mean, if I'm a batter, I don't want to get anything in excess of 100, 150 because that will represent quick scoring. But, I mean, you can only play as good as what you have in front of you, but you don't want to be scoring less than a runner ball in a T20 format. You want to be able to rotate strike and go better than a runner ball. So anything above a runner ball going to be very appreciative. And I think it also deals with that's going to be in the air, and it's going to be 6
short.
more.
Oh my
just
God.
Over the man.
Short and
anybody a batter will want on the boundary is short too, very short. And I suspect if it was somebody like probably Quinton or let's say Jason on the boundary, there may have been a catch taken, but short too short to take that one. And there's Sukdio Singh hitting yet another 6 for Scarborough Mason and himself into the 40s now. Sukdio Singh.
Another TCA maximum for Sukdio Singh there, just going over Shorto's head. I mean, if he was a little bit taller, he probably would have stood a chance. But very good shot there over cover. Here we have Jason again. And he's going slug sweep.
This is in the air. This is in the air. McDavid is not going to drop that whatsoever.
He doesn't drop many.
He's not going to drop that. One of the better fielders or better catchers on the field for Roxborough Strikers, Martin McDavid and Jason Passard. They get rid of the dangerous looking Nicholas Sukdio Singh. 44 of 32 balls. And there was Sukdio Singh. I think he was attempting to bring up his 15 style. That one again, as I mentioned earlier, get the ball into the pitch and the pitch will do the work for you. That was a bit slower. And spinning across Sukdio Singh, I think he got a top edge there. And Martin McDavid taking another good catch there to get rid of Sukdio Singh. And the score now 96 for 3 here at Sid Grey Sporting Complex.
So there we see the captain making a breakthrough in the game there, and that's what you do. You bring yourself on sometimes. It's a gut feeling, Marcus, as a captain yourself, sometimes you feel like you could impact the game somehow when the game is not probably in your favor, and I think he gets you there, and that's a very good wicket for this moment, and score moves on to 96 for 3.
This Roxborough Strikers team, they are spin heavy, and usually if it is that they look for a seamer, you have Nolan or the man bowling the seam, but I think throughout the T20 format, they have trusted their spinners. Jason Passard deciding that he's going to be one of those spinners coming in to join Israel and Shorto, Antonio and Quinton. And been doing a good job for the Roxborough Strikers. That was a really timely breakthrough. It brings now Shaquille Duncan to the crease, having a good season with bat and ball. 102 runs to his name, 14 wickets as well.
One of the most
Certainly certainly one of the leading contenders for player of this Earl Arthur T20 tournament. 96 for free, the 11th over. What can you do here for Scarborough Mason Hall?
Yeah, a very prolific all-rounder Shakil. He definitely dominates the game. Once you give him the opportunity, he plays straight. He actually tries to spend time at the crease. A very good batsman. Here we have Jason again.
Shakil right behind that one. And every single time the bowlers hit that length, that short of a good length, you have the batters very careful behind the delivery. Jason Prasad very experienced. You don't want to get too close to Shakil with his off breaks. This one is a bit fuller, slower, and Shakil off the mark. I think he wanted more with that delivery. Yeah, well, nicely fielded there, 1 run taken.
Yeah, well, all batsmen sometimes start shaky, so probably he not into the wicket as well and try to figure out how the wicket is playing. Sometimes you have to give yourself a chance for you to just go berserk.
I'm very surprised, Antonio, that I haven't seen Joshua James just yet. With all his experience, national player Joshua James. I think the fans have come here today to see Joshua. Hopefully we get to see him later on today. Us, the neutrals. Just good feeling, good hustle. And this is what you want as a bowler. You want your fielders to back you up in the field. That could have easily been an easy single, breaking the momentum. And I think Jason will want to bowl to the left-handed batter. That's Leon Lizama, to take the ball away from Lizama. So he'll want Lizama on strike. Passat to Lizama. Lizama going down the pitch here, striking his one down to long off. It is taken! Wow. What a catch there by Akil Clark!
Of the season.
Taken just off the ground, inches off the ground. And the celebrations are on. Akil Clark and Jason Passat combine to get rid of the dangerous Lizama. What a catch here!
Marcus, this is why we play. To see this kind of athleticism from a fielder is why we play, because looking from our end, it looked like he wasn't going to get there, didn't it?
And I just mentioned a while ago, you need your fielders to back up the bowlers. And this is what I'm talking about. That could have gone for 4 or 6 easily. And there was Akil Clark getting into the dropping zone and taking it inches off the ground. What a breakthrough there. What a fight back here by Roxborough strikers.
And what a pleasure to have been here to actually witness that live, Marcus, because trust me, that's a great catch. I've seen many good catches, and that one is in the top draw.
This is what the final is all about. The best of the best. You want to see good action in the final. The catches win matches. Here's a really good catch there by Akil Clark. A very smart catch. And another breakthrough by Jason Passat. 2 wickets to his name here. I told you about his experience.
And like I said, he's the captain, so he's really taking it upon himself here to make an impact in this game. And actually, he's going to be quite proud of himself, knowing him more of his batting. As we say, the leading run scorer in this TCA T20 competition, Jason Passat, he has the leading runs for the competition. So making an impact with the ball here really is a key thing for him as a captain. So, like I said, 2 breakthroughs back to back here, and new batsman at the crease. I'm not sure, I can't make him out properly. It's Jaden Kent. Oh wow, Jaden Kent. Wow, I tell you, this is a great batting lineup. I couldn't believe it still have Jaden Kent, like you say, Joshua James still to come. And so the Roxborough team has to really try to continue taking wickets here, because it seems to be getting more and more dangerous when you see the caliber of players coming in still with the experience, like you say, they have internationally as well.
So Modest to bowl here. Duncan striking this one out to mid-wicket. Marcus Sincere. Marcus with a K, not Marcus with a C.
And like you said, Marcus with a C. These 2 batsmen here are going to look for the singles a lot, because I know them personally, so they actually love to play the ball in the gaps and look for singles, which is a key thing for this Scarborough Mason Hall team and their success throughout the season. Playing against them, they actually frustrate you with the way they run between the wickets and always putting pressure in the field. So I'm looking forward to seeing that here. But Jaden Kent also a very aggressive batsman. I think one of the better youth cricketers we have here in Tobago on show.
98 for 4. I think a really good fight back here by Roxborough strikers. This is their home turf, and they'll want to deliver here for their home fans. Kent to face up here to Modest. A really good delivery. Get that ball into the pitch, and the pitch is going to work for you.
And that is the length. Like you say, Marcus, that is the length. Once you stay there, it's very difficult as a batsman to be able to score. And you don't have to do anything, because remember, you're trying to restrict the side as much as you're trying to take wickets, so they have to take the chance.
And a good field employed there by Passat. A point and a backward point. Somebody on cover point as well. This is being stroked down the ground. And Kent off the mark. They're looking for two. Not going to get two there. And Shaquille Duncan very quick between the wickets, but not quick enough to try to get 2 runs there.
Down to one of the gun feelers in the Roxborough team, Clarkey there. He's very aggressive in the field. He's always looking to try to get batsmen run out and take good catches. And like you said before in the over just now, he took an absolutely fantastic catch.
Into over number 12. And the strikers, they'll want to keep picking wickets up here. And once you keep picking wickets up, we're going to slow the run rate down. And this is Duncan running the first one hard. This time I think they are quick enough to get 2. That's a well-weighted shot out to mid-wicket there by Duncan, using his experience there. And I think that 2 runs are going to bring up the 100 for Scarborough Mason Hall. 101 now for 4 in the 12th over. And I think a really good foundation set here. And they will want to capitalize on the remaining 8 overs. And if they can go at 10 and over, they're certainly going to get in and around 180. And that's going to represent a really good score on the board in this final. Modest again to Duncan. Duncan hitting his one through cover. There's a man out there. That's Modest. In fact, that's Alexis. Easily fielded there by Alexis. A single taken. Good rotation of strike. And this is what you want, Antonio, in whatever white ball format you have. You want to occupy the crease. But if you occupy the crease, you want to rotate strike. And a number of years, a number of commentators and pundits very critical of the West Indies team when it comes to rotation of strike.
No, because you see how crucial it is, because you could turn it over, it might be 2 runs over, because you're going to get good deliveries like you see here, and another good delivery from Modest, so you want to really capitalize on as many deliveries as you could. Is only 120 markers. Good
spell here so far by Modest, albeit 25 runs scored off his 3 overs. He's gonna compete the remaining 8 overs. We're still yet to see Adrian Alexander reintroduced. He bowled 1 over, and he was roughed up, so to speak, by Rashad Ford in his first over.
Well, it looks like you called it, Marcus. A very good at your commentary, sir, because that's a very good call here. We have Adrian Alexander, as we call him, Timmy. Yes. The big Timmy into the attack. One of the key bowlers throughout the season. They actually back him to give them a chance in the game. So here he's back into the attack after a probably shaky start. It's a final. Sometimes the players are nervous out there, and sometimes you don't get it right. But to get back in the game is very crucial as well. So if he can make an impact here, then he's really going to give his team a chance at 102 for 4 here in over number 13.
Alexander here now to Duncan. And they got a ring of feelers on the boundary. And Duncan working his one to mid-wicket. He gets one, always busy between the wicket. They're looking for 2 here. And it's not going to be. And Duncan, I think that was a good skate by him, because I don't think he would have actually reached back to complete that 2 runs. And a really good hustle there by Adrian Alexander, feeling off his own bowling, and he now brings the Jaden Kent into strike. This is going to be an interesting matchup. And Alexander taking the ball back into Kent, and Kent, he loves that, what I call hoik out to corner and mid-wicket. He got Martin McDavid, Marcus Sincere out there, looking to see if anything will come their way. Alexander to Kent. Kent is hitting his one down to Clark on long off, and 1 run taken. And every single time the ball gets out in the outfield, it's going to get softer and softer. Who's that going to favor?
Well, it's definitely going to favor the bowling team somewhat, I guess, because the softer ball is going to be harder to score runs when you hit it. But
what about the bowl?
Well, yes, that's the problem as well. And with so many spinners in the attack, I guess. But here where they bat the bowling, these guys are somewhat not professional, but they are accustomed to playing cricket. I've played with them for a number of years, and this is not the first time you played in conditions like this. So just as similar to football in rain, you have to bring a different style to the game as the conditions different, and that's what makes you a good player.
Long on, long off, corner. Man on the square leg boundary as well. That's a quick single taken there. And that's what they're going to get with Duncan and Kent.
Yeah, very aggressive running by these two. Like I said, that's what they're going to do. Actually, they're going to run very aggressively. I think earlier why they didn't get the run, Shaquille probably slipped, because Timmy's not one of the better fielders. So I didn't think he would have a run out there, because he doesn't move to the ball as quickly as some of the other players. So 2 was definitely on.
And I've been keeping my eyes on the projected score. It's now 169, the projected score here. This is Kent trying to force that one to the cover, but straight to Jason Passard. And a good comeback here by Adrian Alexander, having been struck for 25 in his first over.
Actually, it's good to see Kent playing himself in before being explosive, because he's very explosive.
I think Kent has now, not Kent, but Alexander has now picked up the correct pace, the length and line to bowl, and he has bowled a tremendous over here, tremendous 13 over, and that's gonna do well for the fielding team, the strikers, and you want your bowlers to be on point in these remaining 7 overs. This is where the going gets really tough for the fielding team, because we still have the likes of Joshua James to come. 105 for 4 in 13 overs, and even with the caliber of Joshua James, it only takes one delivery to get you out, but they still have to bowl that good delivery. We're getting ready to see Modest in his final over. 25 runs from 3 overs thus far. Duncan out there, Duncan and Kent. Duncan on 7 and Kent on 2. Duncan on strike, get to Modest. Duncan going down the gong. Didn't get to the pitch of that ball, but he still used his arms to get it out there to McDavid. The very alert McDavid, 1 run taken.
Yeah, one of the better fielders in the Roxborough team as well. He takes a lot of catches, actually, because you always see his name up there when coming into catches, so he's always in the right positions, and that is a very key thing in T20, especially for me as a captain. I think you want to get your best fielders in the best positions, because most times that's where the ball is going to go, and taking good catches could really give you a better chance of winning the game. So.
And this field well spread there for Modest to Kent. Kent is pulling this one, and this one is going to be 6 more. That was a bad delivery there by Modest. I think that one, he was trying to get it back of a length slower, but it was too short and not gonna trouble the batsman with the potential and skill of Jaden Kent. And that was hit me, and he did hit that one for 6 over the man short once again. Now his mother's gonna come back with this one, and that has pushed the score up to 112 for 4.
Yeah, Jaden Kent, like I said, very explosive player. So once he gives himself a chance, he could be very explosive. So with 7 overs to go, I think he want to really give himself a chance, because they're going to bowl bad deliveries as he plays that one down the ground too long on. Like I said, Clarkey, one of the better fielders, so he's did well there. Back to the ball, I get 1.
Singer, good comeback there by Modest. If there's one thing about Modest, he's not phased being hit for a 6. He still is gonna throw that ball up. When I say throw the ball up, he's gonna bowl up his same slow pace, hoping to get some purchase from the pitch. This time he's coming up here to Duncan, pulling his back brilliantly there. I think he saw Shakil coming down, and that's really good alertness here by Israel Modest. And these players have added to the Roxborough Strikers team this year.
A contingent of them, Marcus, actually, because there are a few players I could mention off the bat that actually have impacted this Roxborough team and given them a very good chance here in this TCA T20 final.
Kent again. Kent is hitting this one down the ground.
Wow.
Magnificent shot there by Jaden Kent. And in fact, that corn has gone in the river to cool out. What a shot there. From the time you get too close to these batters, they are free in the arms and they are getting good purchase. That a really good strike there by Jaden Kent to bring up his second 6 in the over. A TCA maximum, according to Antonio.
And like I said, he reminds me of Nicholas Pooran sometimes. The way he bats as a left-hander, he's really aggressive. And you see the kind of shots he plays, he really does back himself to clear the boundary easily. And like I said, that's actually a huge maximum, because they're actually trying to go to look for that ball, but it's probably in the sea.
120 for 4 in over number 14. The projected score now up to 173. Kent moves quickly along to 15 from 9 deliveries. It's going in boundaries, 2 6s to his name. I don't think that one is coming back whatsoever. And that has landed, I'm certain, in the river. A new ball is called for by the umpires. Let's look at, is that Brongy? What do you call that, a Brongy or that's Spot?
Well, you had to call him Spotty.
Yeah, call Spotty.
He had no kind of brong on him anymore.
That's Spotty.
It's a black and white dog who seems to be the 12th man for the Roxborough team right now on the field. So
this is how you know that you are experiencing village cricket. You know, there must be a dog somewhere around, and he's having a good day. He wanted to bowl to a left-hander. That's the delivery, and he turned Jaden Kent right around there and hit his off stump. What a comeback! And every time the Scarborough Mason team look like they're going to take off, the Roxborough Strikers, they have found a way to pull them back and rein them in. And the end there of Jaden Kent for 15. And walking to the crease there now, Fabrice Lynch. Yet another outstanding talent right there in Tobago. Antonio.
Yeah, and really big surprise here into the crease. It looks like Fabrice Lynch, the young, actually very talented player coming out from the under 15 level, I believe. So where's Joshua James? I think at this moment with about 4-6 overs left in the game, why is he not in the crease right now trying to get his team to a good total?
I keep checking to see if Joshua is really in the playing 11 because I'm left confused as to why he's not yet out in the middle, but we are just here to call the game.
Yeah.
This is now going to be Alexander again for his third over. 28 runs conceded thus far.
So half the side down here at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex.
Only 3 runs conceded off that second over bowled by Alexander. Conceded 25 in his first over. So good comeback thus far. Duncan on to face up here. He's on 9. Alexander to Duncan. A good turn again. And I mean, Antonio, you have seen it. Pitch it in a good length. Let the pitch do the work for you.
Yeah, you don't need to move from that length actually, Marcus. You don't need to do anything. Just continue to try to hit that good length as a bowler. And I think you understand that you're not really trying to take wickets, but if you maintain that dot ball is going to build pressure, and then you're going to see the batsman try to improvise, and that's where you come in as a option. So Timmy is really hitting his chops here.
And I think he will enjoy this spell now. 2 right-handers at the crease. Alexander again. This time a bit too short, but Duncan couldn't capitalize on that one.
Into the pitch again, Marcus.
Into the pitch. Into the pitch, slower as well. No pace on the ball. And I think the Scarborough spinners and bowlers, they are looking at this as well, licking their lips. Alexander to Duncan. Full. Once it gets up there, it's going to go far. He bowled 2 good deliveries and got no runs off them. But this time he threw it up a bit higher. And Duncan never going to miss out on that one.
Another TCA maximum there for the big Duncan boy. And he's really taking a liking to Timmy there with that delivery. So here he's coming back in to the batsman. Here in over number 15.
Already 10 sixes struck by Scarborough Mason all in this inning. Short to very fast that one. He got off the boundary very fast there. And Timmy right back on that length. That's the length. Let them try to hit you off that length.
Yeah, the score moves on to 128 here in over number 15 for 5 wickets down. The game pretty much to me is in the balance right now, because if Roxborough are able to take a few more wickets, then it's going to be really interesting to see what total the Scarborough Mason team going to be able to defend here.
And I like the fact that you say if. They will need to get wickets. If they're going to contain Scarborough Mason or to restrict them to 180, 190. I mean, this is modern day cricket now. 190 may not be a score that seems very challenging, but given the conditions here and the very confident Scarborough Mason looking for a clean sweep, that's the length. Let them hit the ball. It's a bit on the shorter end, but you don't want to get too full to give them that freedom. And that's the end of over number 15. 5 overs to come, 30 legal deliveries here, Antonio. This is the Tobago Cricket Association Earl Arthur T20 final. It's a final game of the 2026 season. Scarborough Mason inserted by Roxborough strikers here. 128 for 5 at the end of 15. What's going to be their final total here, Antonio?
And what a pleasure it is to be here and witness this live, because a lot of players on show here. It's going to be a really competitive game, and I expected it to be not like some finals, just be one-sided, because the Roxborough team, I think they're really going to be proud of themselves for making it to this final. So I expect them to give the Scarborough Mason team a really good fight, and good cricket is always good, Marcus. So really,
yes, indeed. And for those who have ventured from near and far to be here today to witness this match, we welcome you, and of course don't forget to share this live. Like and share Tobago Sports Live. Got to commend them for their continued coverage of sport here in Tobago, as we have Quinton Brooks into the attack for his third over. Already a quick single taken there by Fabrice Lynch. This is what I like about the Scarborough Mason team. Always unearthing talent. And this young guy, Fabrice Lynch, his father is here, and the family is here to support him. You look to get a good score here today for Scarborough. He's in the final set of overs. The back end of the innings where you expect fireworks. And I really want to see how he's going to play this inning here, given the fact that we still haven't seen Joshua James,
and
national player.
What I want to touch on, Marcus, is the importance of the youth playing at this level of cricket. So,
Oh, that was a really tough chance there for Clinton Brooks. It went quickly, and you expect those to stick. Antonio, you being a keeper as well?
Yeah, it's the most difficult thing I've ever done on a cricket field is actually wicket keep. So I don't know how other players view it, but to me it's very difficult, I'll be honest. The amount of bruised fingers and...
In my over 30 years of cricket, I've never done it, eh?
Well, you see...
There are two positions I've never fielded.
Consider yourself lucky because I'm young, and I think because of wicket keeping, the constant up and down while you're bending your back always puts that pressure on you. And I'm telling you from personal experiences, it's really difficult.
I think it's a special skill being a keeper, and you got to be very fit as well. There's Quinton forcing this one through the cover. Fabi's looking for two. That's fantastic. Is it fantastic running? Yes, it is. That's what they call youthful exuberance. And if it is that they're not alert in the field, these two gentlemen at the crease, Lynch and Duncan, they're going to take you apart. That was a good delivery by Quinton, and they get two to cover.
Yeah,
that was very special.
Youth, the importance of youth in the team. Some of the players might be on the latter half of their career, and we need to see as he plays this one into the air, but I think, that's into open space there. Just over a short fine leg, I could say. So I think he was trying to play a scoop, Marcus.
I think
the youth,
yes,
like I say, he's rehearsing it. So yeah, he's definitely trying to scoop that one.
I think it's a good option with the length and the line bowled by Quinton. Quinton, you will think that he will try to spin the ball, but he relies heavily on that faster, straighter delivery. And that has worked for him thus far. 8 wickets to his name in the T20 format this year. And we are into the final 4 overs, final 24 balls, 136. Antonio, can you give me a prediction? What's going to be the final score here? The projected score 170. And I think with 4 overs to come, I'm going to give you my number. With 4 overs to come, if they score at 10 and over, that shall take them to 176. And that's going to be my projected total, Antonio.
I want to agree with you, but at the same time, just because going with gut feeling here, I think the Roxborough strikers might be able to pick up a few wickets and probably restrict them to about a 160. Just to make it interesting, because that's the total. I want to see how they're going to approach it in the second innings.
This is Alexander for his final over. This is Duncan swinging. That's a good length into the pitch. And that one was back of a length. Not back of a length, but in between that good length. Spinning across. And Shaquille Duncan. This is Alexander again. This one was back of a length. And what a shot there by Shaquille Duncan. This time, he waited on that one and utilized the length given to him down the ground for the 11 TCA maximum of this inning. What a blow there by Shaquille Duncan.
The ever dependable Duncan again. He's always going to give you that chance in the game because he takes the game away from you. He's a very aggressive batsman, and Timmy there missing his length and too slow. Definitely too slow because he had a lot of time there. He could have waited and just hitting it off the back foot straight down the ground for another TCA maximum. 142
on the board, 5 wickets down, but I think that's irrelevant at this stage. 24 of 19. Shaquille Duncan, 260s to his name, and he'll want to be there at the end. This is Alexander again to Duncan. Duncan, that one dragged back to Duncan. They get one. They're looking for 2, and Duncan sends him back. And that's Lynch. He certainly was getting ready to come for 2. And that was a really good comeback there by Antonio, by Adrian Alexander. The straighter, faster one. He scored up to 143 for 5 in over number 17. An adjustment in the field there by Alexander. Alexander now tosses the ball from hand to hand, getting ready here for yet another delivery, and a swing and a miss there by Lynch. Really good delivery there, using his experience there. Alexander. Dot deliveries at this stage priceless. 1-4-3 for 5. Down the ground. In fact, that's taken, is it? It is dropped there by Passard. And there was Fabrice Lynch attempting to hit that one over to long off, but it only went there to Jason Passard. He got 2 hands it, but I think it dropped when he hit the ground. This is Shaquille Duncan, and he is and it's still in play here. A loud appeal, and so much happening out here in the middle. And there was Croc. He got the catch completed, but he just couldn't maintain his balance. But it did save his team. 3 runs there, and Lynch evading that run out as well. Oh, so much happening out in the middle here at the Sidgway Sporting Complex.
Yeah, I thought he had it. He had it.
He took the catch.
Yeah, he had it.
He took the catch, but just couldn't maintain his balance.
But what he did well was actually make sure he didn't step over the boundary with it in his hand. So he actually tried to throw it and get it back, but he slipped while trying to get back.
Oh, that was. I'm seeing someone. Is it that was a run out?
Was it because? Yeah.
Let's just try to get some confirmation here. But I'm seeing Joshua James. In fact, he's given as a run out. So only 2 runs. Only 2 runs conceded of that delivery. No, I'm seeing umpire Skid say no. Retired hurt. Yes, so he
Retire.
yes.
Retired out.
They say you're allowed to retire. You retire out, and I understand why. Because I mean, with 3 of us to come, you'll want the big hit in Joshua James. Could this prove decisive in this contest? Not having Joshua face more overs.
That's what I was trying to say. If you have these kind of players in the team, you really want to utilize them because he scored 93 in his last game, and you have to give them the amount of deliveries necessary to try to really impact the game. And him coming in so late, all he could actually do is be aggressive. He doesn't give himself a chance here because
he only has 18 deliveries to get a start here.
Exactly, and like I was saying, it's dead bowling time. So
make that 17.
The countdown is on.
Get a really good start here by Quinton Brooks, and he's not daunted or phased by this task in front of him. Joshua James, our national player, very proud of him as well. Good delivery again, 2 dot deliveries.
And I think one of the better options to start against Joshua James would be Quinton Brooks because he's going to bowl very straight, very fast. He's not going to really try to slow it up to give you no time. So he really has to try to somehow play himself in before he could actually get off here.
And I think what he has working for him as well, he has Daddy at the stumps chain him on.
Of course, and he has to perform because when he performs, normally the incentive is always there, right there in his pocket. He's waiting to bless his son as he always shows us.
In fact, that's a single, and that's a good result for the fielding team. Brooks again, down the ground, very powerfully, and we have Akil Clark in pursuit here, and he cuts it off, and they're going to come back for 2 easily, but still good for the fielding team. The more you can restrict the boundaries at this stage. And the strikers are fighting back here in front of their home fans at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. 149 on the board for 6 wickets. Shaquille Duncan up to 29 now. 22 deliveries he has faced thus far. And Brooks again to Duncan. Duncan is hitting this one powerfully. It's in the air. And a 1 bounce here to Shorto. 2 runs taken once again. And that brings up now the 150 for Scarborough Mason, all inserted by the strikers.
Yeah, and like I said, it's very important for the Roxborough strikers here to just try to restrict the opposition for a total not in excess of 170 or 180 where it's going to be more pressure, but not a bad. Oh,
Duncan
back into
again,
the pitch.
back into the pitch. 1 run taken there.
The score moves on to 152. Here we in over number 16, I think, finished. Yeah, no? Yeah, 16.
No, the end of 18.
18, sorry.
The end of 18, 2 overs to
Left.
come. 12 legal deliveries.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
152 for 6. And the projected score 169. That's a projected score here. On par with your projected score here, Antonio. Joshua James, a national player, senior team. And he's going to be representing, is it the Antigua team in the Antigua Falcons in the CPL this year? Looking forward to seeing him.
Actually playing. I want to actually see him get involved in the game because
all of Tobago.
Yeah, you pick a player like this, you need to see what he gives, and I think given the opportunity, that's where the talent really comes out because these players are actually thirsty for the chance, and hopefully when he does get the chance, we're going to see if he performs. We can't just talk about it.
This is very crucial here now, Antonio. Jason Posada is going to come back into the attack with his off breaks against Antonio. Shaquille Duncan, and he's going to be bowling to Duncan and James with his off breaks. I want to see how he's going to take up this challenge. We have Enrique Keith coming onto the field here for Quinton. We got square leg on the boundary, cow corner, long on, long off, and a deep cover. Jason here to to Shaquille, and he's working his one out to Enrique. Immediately into action, Enrique, the substitute fielder.
Yeah,
And Joshua, he's going to take one here. I think he's going to fancy his chances against Joshua, against Jason here.
Yeah, as you see, they're walking the single there because I think they really going to give Joshua a chance to really impact the game here now, as you have Jason in the attack, so he's going to really try to maximize this over.
I think as a motorist, you may want to go and check your vehicles at this time.
Yeah, it's very dangerous times right now.
He hit some very big one at Shaw Park. Passad to James. James is striking this one powerfully down to Soto, and Soto got his body in this way. He's got his body in the way there. I think there's a shot for catch, but I don't think he could have taken
so
it
hard. It's so hard that was hit. It's like it cannot react in time because I think he hit that one really powerfully, so it ended up one bounce. But he did really well there to actually get his body in the way of the ball so that it doesn't go over the boundary.
And there's Clarkey who took a really good one, gesturing to Soto. He could have dived forward and taken that one.
Really good friends, they're going to do that.
Good delivery again by Passad. He's really tightening things up here in this penultimate over, and he's bowling to the big hit in Joshua James. 2 good deliveries thus far, 4 runs off 2 deliveries.
And we see him trying to use his experience. Watch him, he's coming around the wicket instead of usually the bowlers tend to bowl over the wicket because he's trying to push it across him where he might not be able to score as easily.
Trying to get it right under the eyes of Joshua. This
And
is in the air. Who's going to take it? Anyone's going to take it here? Jason George dropped there by the keeper. And anyone you want to be under that delivery is the keeper, Clinton Brooks.
Oh, wow. That one went really high. I think Jason himself was backing himself to get there. I mean, they both were in range, but there was no call actually to see who would have. But you would have favored the keeper, like I say, with the gloves on. And
it was a good effort to chase that one down by the keeper. I think it was in his half. But, I mean, you don't expect those to be dropped by the keeper. But this is a game of great uncertainties, yes?
Glorious uncertainties, Marcus.
This is Passad once again to Joshua. This time he's going to get a wide. And they get one. Going to be 3 wides, certainly. And you can understand what Jason is attempting here. He's trying to get it as full as possible on the legs of Joshua. You don't want to give him that room to free his arms.
He's trying to cramp him for room there. You see, as he's coming from that angle, from around the wicket, really trying to create an angle that he doesn't be able to free his hands, like you say, because really long levers, he's actually, I find, a built for cricket kind of player when you look at him, how long his arms are and, the reach. And
this is in the air, but he's so strong. I didn't think he got good power and good leverage on that one, but that 6 runs, no going is too big for Joshua James. The big hit in Joshua James, a man from Backheel Wim in Tobago, and he gets a big 60 off the bowling of Jason Passad. Still 1 legal delivery remaining in this over, the penultimate over. The score now up to 168.
He made that look very easy, Marcus, because I ain't lying to tell you, this man hit some huge 6s there. He just stepped back on the back foot and powering that one over the mid-wicket boundary there.
And that one was back over length, using his levers, his long levers there.
My.
There's one again! That's another 6!
Oh my. It's a full delivery.
He's asking for a no ball.
I think he should.
And he's not going to get a no ball by these 2 experienced umpires.
He should be happy with that one actually, Marcus, because that's an easy delivery to hit. So it was a full toss, waist height, probably from Jason there, and that's another TCA maximum. The batsman we've been asking for, he's here and he's showing us what he does. And
this is what I found very strange. I think they probably did strike us a favor by Joshua not coming in a bit earlier.
Yeah, because you could imagine the kind of damage he would have done, given more deliveries now, where we have only probably 6 deliveries left here. So
we have the rain with us once again.
A really fall and stop weather here at the Sid Grey complex here in Roxborough today.
1 over remaining in this inning. And the umpires, and they aren't calling the cover zone, and they're going to call them on now. Umpires Ronnie McKenna and Neil Skeet, with 1 over remaining in this inning. 174 for 6 off 19, and that represents 9.2 runs and over. I projected 176, but it looks like if they are to return for that final over, they can get in excess of 180, with Joshua James already up to 19 from 8 deliveries. Shaquille Duncan still out there, very quiet on 33 from 25 deliveries, 2 6s to his name. And Antonio is very windy, and you expect that this should pass across. Having the rain based on where we are seated here, the bulk of the rain has passed us. But so far, Antonio, I mean, your thoughts on the innings of Scarborough Mason Hall?
Yeah, a very good innings actually, because like you see the different players that they definitely have made an impact. The Rashad Ford, which is BH at the top of the order there. We see Shaquille Duncan, a very ever dependable all along there. He can bat anywhere. That's one of my anywhere batsmen. You could put Shaquille to bat literally anywhere and he does the same thing. He's very repetitive and actually very classy in the way he goes about looking for runs now. So I think they're in range of a very good total, which might be actually a winning total if I ask me, given these conditions here. But Duckworth Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, having been inserted on what I expected to be or anticipated to be a very slow pitch given the weather, I think 174 at this stage, Scarborough Mason, they're going to be very happy, or they're going to be the happy of the two teams. Top score 44 so far from Nicholas Sukhdeo Singh. Shaquille Duncan still there unbeaten on 33. 29 from Rashad Ford, and Joshua James 19. It's left to be seen whether we're going to return for the final over there. And leading the bowling for the Roxborough Strikers, Jason Prasad with 2 wickets for 37 runs, a wicket apiece to Israel Modest, Quinton Brooks and Joshua Alexis. But what I've been very happy to see as somebody who likes attacking and aggressive cricket is the amount of sixes thus far. Nicholas Sukhdeo Singh, he struck 3, Rashad Ford 3, Shaquille Duncan 2 so far, Jaden Kent 2, and Joshua James 2 so far. That's 2, 4, 6, 13 sixes so far, Antonio, and that's what you want in the T20 format. We expect big hits from the batters in this format, 6s and 4s. I mean, the crowd, they love to see 6s and in fact boundaries.
How not to love to see it. I think as a player myself, one of the sweetest feelings you could have is when you do hit a 6, because it feels so good to know that you clear the boundary with ease. Sometimes you surprise yourself when it comes off, and I think all players know that kind of feeling. So 6 is going to be really crucial and important, because in T20 cricket, I think the team that really hits the most 6s majority of the time will come on to win the game, obviously, because hitting 6s is what it's all about.
And so far, only 8 extras. As we see the covers on, the players, I think they're going to take a break. And, based on my experience in cricket, I suspect that the umpires will want to probably end the innings. Yes, I'm hearing it on the from the house announcer at the Scarborough Sporting Complex. They're going to end the innings at 174 of 19. And it means that Roxborough Strikers, they're going to face 19 overs to get to 174. Can they get them, Antonio?
Well, anything is possible, Marcus. Once you're out there, as a player, you want to back yourself and give yourself a chance to really make a difference in the finals, where you have played all season to try to reach there. And from the time you get there as a player, you really want to be able to make a difference in your team and contribute towards victory. So anybody would want to win a finals, and given the chance that they have here right now, you would want to get a good start, basically. So give yourself the best chance. They have the leading run scorer, with Jason Prasad going to be probably on top of the order, trying to give his team the best chance. Hopefully, if that comes off, and it's cricket. We play cricket because it's a game of glorious uncertainty, so it could swing either way. You have to really give yourself a chance, and these players are actually players who would have experience and know how to perform, so they give themselves the best chance. I don't think they will be able to, but because the Scarborough Mason team is a team that definitely knows how to win finals, as they would be one of the better teams here in Tobago, Marcus. So
yeah, 174 of or 175 needed of 114 deliveries, and that's going to be I want to say a challenge for the batters. But again, this is cricket. Roxborough Strikers playing the finals here in front of their home fans. I think they will need especially Akli Clark and the leading run scorer Jason Prasad to get off to a really good start and lay that platform. And who knows, we may be in for a thriller here at the Scarborough Sporting Complex. And we're going to come back in just about 5 minutes time for the response from Roxborough Strikers. This is the Tobago Cricket Association Earl Arthur T20 final, and we are live on Tobago Sports Live at the Scarborough Sporting Complex. I want to thank you guys so much for staying tuned and join us back for the response in just about 5 minutes time. Right. Let me say welcome back to the Sidgray Sporting Complex. And we are all set for the response from Roxborough Strikers. And this is the Tobago Cricket Association Earl Arthur T20 final. And we are seeing Rashad Ford, the big Bajan, marking out his run up there. And the opening batters for Roxborough Strikers, Akil Clark. He's going to face up first, the left-handed batter there. And Jason Passan, the tournament's leading run scorer. How is this one going to end today? We do know that we're going to have a winner on today. And Scarborough Mason will take all 3 titles on offer. Or can Roxborough Strikers and stop their quest for a clean sweep? And here goes the Ford with the first delivery up to Clark. And Clark is already swinging and signaling to the Scarborough Mason team that we are out here and we mean business. We're not going to back down. We're going to fight fire with fire. Orlando James, the captain, and so many James involved in this contest. Joshua James, Orlando James, Zion James, Atto James. I think they can form their own team.
Yeah, the youngest James there, like you call Zion, he's going to sometime come into the attack, and I really want to see how he goes because he seems to be developing into a very interesting bowler, you know.
Ford again to Clark. Another swing and a miss. And there is a Ford using his experience, hitting the ball into the pitch. And once it goes into the pitch, it slows up a bit. So the batter, they have to make their own timing of these deliveries. Ford usually skiddy off the pitch. Well, they're using his experience here, and he's going into the pitch. And if you can do that on this pitch, you're going to be very successful.
Yeah, BH the Clarkie there. Very important matchup in this TCA final here.
Clark is swinging and missing again. This is a fantastic start here by the big Bajan here for Scarborough Mason. 7 wickets before today's match. And lots of incentives on offer for this Scarborough Mason team. You'll want to get amongst the wickets here. And what a big wicket it will be if he can get the prize wicket of Akil Clark. Very explosive batter, Akil Clark. Very powerful down the ground. Clark here, as I just mentioned, that's his pet shot down the ground. And you can't get too full, as we have mentioned even in the first inning. From the moment you get too full to these batters, they are striking it powerfully down the ground. And what a blow there by Akil Clark after playing and missing 3 times. This time he makes good contact. And what a way to start here for Roxborough Strikers.
Yes, Marcus, yeah, like I said, very strong down the ground there, Clarkie. Again, once you get too full to him, he's going to tote you. And that one is a beautiful shot there down the ground over long off. That's a TCA maximum. And takes the score into 6 without loss here in the first over.
And the Beige will want to get back to that good length. And just outside the off stump, you can't get too close to Akil. He's going to play his shot no matter what. Forward again to Clark, and he's guiding that one behind point to get one. They're going to get 2 here, certainly. And this is a good aggressive start here by Roxborough Strikers. And even if you can't make the runs, Antonio, you need to look like you want to get the runs. Look aggressive. And I like the body language of the Roxborough Strikers. They believe that they can get to 175. And they are backed here by their fans who came in here today to support them at the Sidgray Sporting Complex. A man in Cow Corner and somebody out at the cover boundary. Those players are the players out of the circle. Clark here using his feet, driving down the ground here. Joshua James is going to come into field it here. 1 run taken, they're going to get 2. I think that was sloppy by Joshua though.
Yeah, moving really Labor Day is today, Marcus? Or was it yesterday?
That's a good way to put it there,
because,
Antonio.
He was really interested in really getting into that one quickly. So as the score moves on to...
I think what I saw of Joshua there, Antonio, and as we know, we have the CPL, another formats coming up on Joshua. He's going to play a big part. He didn't want to risk trying to chase that run down and probably twisting an ankle or pulling up in a sense. So he's very cautious about his body, Joshua James. At the end of the first over, 10 without loss. We got Akil Clark, all 10 runs to Akil Clark. We're now going to see Orlando James from the C end, and he's going to be bowling to Jason Passan, the tournament's leading run scorer.
Yeah, I think in that over, Marcus, you see how easy 10 runs was accumulated there. 1 boundary, a couple good singles there, and you see how they're already ahead of the run rate in terms of they trying to chase the score here. So very good start by the Roxborough Strikers here. So let's see how Jason Passard, the leading run scorer, going to make his impact on this game as he faces up to Orlando James. Big Lynn coming into the attack here, and I think he's a really aggressive bowler. He's very going to bowl at the wicket, like I say, into the wicket as well because of his experience. He's going to try to use that to make a breakthrough here and just be steady in the power play.
James to Posada, good delivery, back of a length. I think that was more than back of a length. That was like a bouncer up in the throat, and Jason was good enough to drop it in front of him and get a single.
Yeah, it's that kind of wicket where you don't mind sometimes being a little short because that's what's working for you. And you say, like I said, that was pretty short there, but Jason using the speed of that delivery just to kind of guide it down to the third man there for a single. So,
and if you need to go short to Jason, you need to be very short. He's a very tall batter. Should I call him a Guyanese international, bringing his experience here into Tobago?
Yeah, and he's been here for a number of years. So if you tell him that, he's probably going to argue and say he's probably more Tobago than anything else. So yeah, but his experience that he brings to the game and being the captain and the leading run scorer, we expect that in this finals he's going to be able to make an impact. So that's what makes the difference. Somebody needs to take the game away from the opposition.
261 runs scored before this game. Jason Passard, Orlando to Clarkey. That's going to be called a wide by umpire Ronnie McKenna. And I'm happy that we have these two umpires in this contest. And Ronnie McKenna and his Keith, very steady. It's never an easy task being an umpire, you know. And we have behind us a very experienced campaigner in Mr. Kennedy.
Yeah, glad he could join us in the commentary box here, Mr. Kennedy, as he's taking in the game as well. A very experienced umpire, like I said, as well, in this TCA cricket here, Ilata.
James, very, very smart of James. And he has the tendency to bowl these cutters as well. Orlando, former national under-19 player. In fact, he was the captain of that under-19 team and came through the ranks of the Scarborough Mason team. Remember him being very petite, carrying the towel on the water. And look at him now leading this Scarborough Mason team and leading them very well and could lead them to a three-peat. And that will be very well for the coffers of the Scarborough Mason team when it comes to the prizes. A very unique feel I'm seeing placed here or implemented by the Scarborough Mason team. Jason is trying to pull that one. He's going to be down the leg side on the body. And Sukhdev Singh is what would you call that position of Sukhdev Singh?
A silly midpoint, Marcus, because clearly he's showing his plan is to try to bowl short and sort of outside the off stump so we could get Jason fending probably and that's a good point. And I mean, because of the pace of the pitch and that first delivery ball by Orlando to Jason, you expect that the ball is not going to go too fast. You're going to have like a lob to Sukhdev Singh. As we see a change in the field here, Marcus, they bring in the cover point and send back fine leg. So the sort is.
Orlando normally takes the ball away from the right-handers. He gets a nice outswing so far. He's hitting the ball into the pitch and taking it back into Jason. And Jason appears to be a bit troubled by Orlando James here. The sun is basking in all its glory here at the Sidgway Sporting Complex. And we are into June. And if you are following the World Cup, USA, the US of A, the United States of America, leading Australia by 2-0. Jason is ball! I told you, Orlando James, he has troubled Jason Passard in this over. And James gets a big wicket of Jason Passard bowled. What a timely blow here by Scarborough Mason.
Captain to captain, and there we have James doing Earl at a celebration there, Marcus, because I don't know what the celebration is about. I'm going to ask him after the game, and that's a really crucial wicket, captain to captain. You know, you remove the leading run scorer, and you really want to give yourself a chance, and that's beautifully done as a Yorker, and that's very difficult delivery to play after setting him up.
I think that one, it wasn't like a Yorker length, but it was full, and there was Jason playing around that delivery. And Orlando, what I know of him, he likes to outswing the ball to the right-handers, but that one was a bit fuller and it came back into Jason, and I think that's why he attempted to play the ball to the leg side, but it only resulted in him missing. And when you miss as a bowler, I hit. Or as a batter, I hit.
What I believe really worked for him there, Jason, Marcus, was the fullness in length, because the short delivery, he wasn't really ready to play that type of delivery that was full, so he was kind of late on it, and that caused him to be bowled. And we have the new batsman, I think it's Israel Modest, to the crease. He doesn't have on a helmet. He better be careful here, because as you see, Orlando James really hitting the pitch hard here. So,
and as you mentioned there, James, he kept that delivery back up well into Jason. And Jason struggled to get bat on ball, and that's a slow nature of the pitch. And we have Israel Modeste. And he, one of the new players in the 2026 season. I think this is his first season in the Tobago Cricket Association League. And been having a good season with the ball. In the last game, got a good score in the qualifier. Israel Modeste. He certainly will need to get a partnership here with Akil Clark, two left-handed batter. I think very soon we're going to expect to see Shaquille Duncan coming into the attack with his off-spin. Here's James. First delivery here to Modeste. And James full out this time, and Modeste right behind that one. And of a successful over for Scarborough Mason Hall and Orlando James. I think it was a wicket maiden. In the end of 2-13 for 1. Roxborough Strikers in pursuit of 175 for victory. They need a further 162 of 102 deliveries. And the required weight, you need to keep an eye on that required weight there, Antonio, 9.5. Base is going to continue from the pavilion end. You see Joshua James in mid-on here. Jaden Kent in mid-on. And the one thing about this Scarborough Mason team, they have youth on their side, youth and skill.
Yeah, as we see Beige into Clarkey here again, a crucial matchup here.
Ball him! He has disturbed the stumps! At the end of Akil Clark, another big hit attempted there by a Scarborough Mason Hall. In fact, by a Roxborough Strikers player, not making contact. And the two openers are back in the pavilion. Akil Clark and Jason Passard. And their stumps have been disturbed by this impressive opening bowling pair of Rashad Ford and Orlando James. What a setback here by the home team.
Yeah, and like I said, Marcus, the power play again, you know, is causing batsmen to have to try to play aggressive shots early, so they wouldn't want to get a good start. But unfortunately, Clarkey goes bowl there off stump, rock back by Beige. So the score moves on to 13 for 2 here in over number 3.
And I think that was a poor attempt at a slug from Akil Clark. He would have been better served trying to hit that ball back down the ground. I think what did it for him there was going across the line to a full delivery. And again, once you miss, a bowler definitely is going to hit. And we're seeing Marcus Sincere stride into the crease with a huge task in front of him. Scarborough Mason Hall. And you can see the confidence in the team out there in the middle. A really solid team. Shaquille Duncan, Zion James, Jaden Kent, Rashad Ford, Orlando James, Joshua James, Lewan Nizama, Fabrice Lynch, Nicholas Sukleo Singh. And these are players that can hold their own even in the highest league in Trinidad.
Yeah, Marcus, a very formidable lineup as we mentioned earlier. This Scarborough Mason team is packed with all-rounders and explosive players who really can take the game away from you. As you see, a very important start by Rashad Ford and Orlando James from the other end. So really not going to let up here because they're looking to win this final and win it early. So
yes. And I like the fact that you mentioned win it early because the amount of drinks I saw passed in this morning, in fact this afternoon there, is going to be a celebration later on. And not forgetting the hard-working keeper, the son of Coach Brian Brung, that's Brandon Mark Brung, the keeper for Scarborough Mason. Here he is taking that one. Very unassuming, very quiet about his job, Brandon Mark Brung.
Yeah, we're here at the Sid Gray Sporting Complex again, Marcus, and it's a lovely day despite the weather has been iffy sometimes. And today's a holiday, it's Labor Day. We really want to celebrate and enjoy the holiday. So the cricket is nice. It's nice.
Beaten for pace there. That was Marcus Sincere. I think he swung after the ball had passed. And this is yet another good over here by Scarborough Mason Hall. I mean, you can win or lose the game in the power play. And it appears right about now the bowling team or the fielding team, winning this power play. They won the batting power play when they batted as well. And they're looking to win it here with ball in hand. Forward again to Sincere. And Sincere working this one. He's going to get a quick singer to get off the mark. Yes. A loud appeal here. And not outside umpire Skid standing very firm.
Yeah, that's how Skid does it. It's umpiring. He wouldn't move if he doesn't think the batsman is out. And as you see, he was very still when they appealed for that decision. And easy single in the end, I guess. Marcus getting off the mark there. And the score moves on to 14 for 2. Still in over number 3 here.
I think that's what they will need to do, Sincere and Modesty, to build this partnership. Although we are in the power play, they need at least 9.8 runs per over. But just to get the innings flowing and get the innings starting, you need to get bat and ball, drop it in the infield there, and try to get the singles, get the feet moving, get the blood pumping.
Well, that's where our partnership is going to be very important here. We already lost 2 wickets. You don't really want to give the opposition more wickets. As you see, Rashad Ford goes down the leg side there for a wide. Yeah, so what this pair want to really do is make sure that they don't lose any wickets as well. So as well as they're trying to be aggressive and accumulate runs, they have to try to be smart as well and not give the opposition more inroads into your batting lineup. As you could see, it's not as strong as the opposition, because when you watch the batting lineup here, I can't see a player who might really be as impactful as the 2 openers. As that one is guided down the leg side modestly again by the batsman.
Every single dot delivery, that required weight will climb.
He gets 2 runs there easily. Yeah, and as we mentioned, the power play and how important it is a give and take, because you want to be aggressive at the same time, because it's with the options, nobody is really back on the boundary other than the 2 fielders, so you want to really maximize it, but at the same time losing wickets doesn't really help when in the chase.
Ford runs away from us again, and this is Modest driving that full toss. And Orlando James equal to the task here to end over number 3. And the pressure is certainly on the batting team. The men in pink and black, the strikers, 17 at the end, 17 for 2 at the end of 3. 158 required for 96 deliveries. And Scarborough, Mason Hall, and I must say commendation to the both teams for attempting to have a final here, despite the conditions that we have met here today with all the rains yesterday and today. Not ideal for for high level cricket, but the teams have done well thus far.
Yeah, you must commend them, because they had to take the covers on and off regularly, and sometimes that could be frustrating, so you really had to give them comment for making that effort that way.
James this time to Sincere trying to get a quick single there, and you can see what Sincere is trying to do. And his task right now is to ensure no other fall of wickets, but he needs to also score 10 runs and over the required weight up to now.
And it's not going to be an easy task, because this bowling lineup is full of very skillful bowlers who's going to use different options to try to restrict them. So,
and still with Shaquille Duncan, the leading wicket taker, to come with his off spin, 14 wickets to his name. And there was Sincere sort of taking evasive action there, and again James into the pitch. And as I said, with the new ball over the season, I've seen him taking the ball away from the right-handers, but on this day, utilizing the pitch, getting it into the pitch and taking it back into the batters, challenging them to use their mats. Just a good delivery, and that was the guy. Where is that guy again? Antonio.
Yeah, they removed the fielder actually, because I don't know, the position is a really strange one, but it would have worked there in that circumstance, because Marcus trying to fend that one and just popping it up in the air into really no man's land, and
he dug that one into the pitch, and Sincere taking evasive action.
Could you have imagined if the fielder was still there, how easy a chance that would have been, and that I celebrate, because a really good plan.
This is what I call intelligent cricket, intelligent bowling by young James. Again he goes short, and again Sincere taking evasive action. This is excellent cricket here. It is not a test cricket or 2-day cricket or 3-day cricket. It's T20, but it seems that way with bowling hand by James and Ford.
And all eyes was on the umpire there as he signals it's really 1 for the over,
and they're making it very tough for the batters. Sincere without a helmet, and James again comes in here to Sincere. Shot again, and this time Sincere is pulling this one powerfully. I don't think he'll go to the boundary now and get one. They're looking for 2, and they're brilliantly fielded.
Yeah, I think that's Jaden Kent down there.
Jaden Kent,
agile fielder, so he gets there, he pulls that one back, and they manage to get 2 runs. The score moves on to 19 for 2. Here we in over number 4. Orlando James,
and it runs very hard, like transport on a Sunday afternoon.
Really hitting that ball back into the pitch.
Sincere loving this battle here, James and Sincere. This time he goes full and loud appeal here. Oh, that was also a run-out opportunity.
Wow, by Duncan. I think he's one of the better fielders, Duncan. He got there and just having a shot at the stumps. Unfortunately, he missed.
James appealing, celebrating, but Fox, in fact, umpire McKenna unfazed by that one. I think Sincere
Need some medical attention there. Yeah. That
full delivery and played across that one, missed it. May have missed the leg stump. Hence,
that was going down. Yeah,
not out by the umpire.
Very full delivery, hit him flush on the pad. I don't think that one bounced before he hit him. And like you see, Joshua James employing the same tactic, short, and then try to slip in a fuller one there to get the dismissal. But unfortunately, umpire says not out.
And whereas Roxborough strikers employed their spinners, you have Scarborough Mason with their seamers, James and Ford. 4 overs between them thus far. Only 19 runs conceded. And we get Ford again with the big 100 at his back. A false start there. He certainly loves playing his cricket here in Tobago, Rashad Ford. He departs for the UK on Saturday. Forward here to Modest down the leg side.
But he took off a few miles, Marcus. He was more a quick bowler, don't you think? I think he really operates in a little mediocre level speed when it comes to that. And I think he really capitalized his swing.
Yeah, I think
it down. So
sometimes it's not about the pace, about control.
Definitely.
And it has certainly worked for him this season. This is Ford again to Modest down the leg side. He will not want to be at that line and length. Umpire's kit with the outstretched arms. That's going to be a wide again.
I think the appeal was just to throw the umpire off there because clearly that was down the leg side and a wide given.
And Ford not going to like these wides. It means he'll have to running at least 9 times in this over. Comes back again to Modest. Down the leg side again. I think that was
the signal coming.
That came off of Modest's tie pads.
Okay.
No winds there. I think he's trying to tuck the batter up. We have Nicholas singing short mid wicket. More like what is called not a silly point, but a short leg in that sense.
Yeah, a deepish short legger.
Driving nicely, James. This time he's a bit busy out there. Joshua James. No run. And this is good cricket and Forward already with his hands on his hips. I think someone needs to get him some water.
I'm looking forward to see in the batting lineup for the strikers, Martin McDavid probably come to the wicket next. Probably to try and put some impetus into the innings because at this moment they're just going.
See more fans coming into the Sidgway Sporting Complex. Modest working this one away. Not going to get a single. Excellent feeling. Again, that looks to be Kelsey Allen.
Yeah, playing his first season there with Scarborough Mason Hall, Kelsey Allen, a bit of an all-rounder, Bozil off spin. Sometimes bats low order.
21 for 2 in over number 5. Slow going here for Scarborough, for Roxborough strikers. Modest attempting that shot again. That seems to be his favorite shot.
Yeah, he's playing modestly again. He seems to do everything the same. Basically, he's really simple and probably it really works for him. It seems like he's coming in at 3 in the innings here, but he really wants to get a few boundaries from somewhere, Marcus, because you can't just afford to let dot balls be going away. Every
single dot delivery, the required run rate, it goes up. Ford coming around the wicket this time. And they get one. They're looking for 2 here, Sincere and Modest, but Modest is not interested whatsoever. 1 run taken. And a really good season here, Antonio. I'm really happy that we brought back the 2-day league. Really good cricket in the whites, and we had the 40 overs. And this day, we're not going to have the Chief Secretary's Bigo T10. I know some players were looking forward to that. And they missed also the Dream 11 Bigo T10 Blast. But a free tournament represents a good season for a lot of players. A swing and a miss there by Marcus Sincere. And that's going to end over number 5. And it has been a slow start here in response to this 175 by Roxborough strikers. And I must say it has been a combination of good bowling and poor stroke making by the Roxborough strikers.
Yeah, the really 2 key batsmen for Roxborough strikers are already back in the hutch, which is Jason and Clarkey, and I think that's going to be very crucial here because they would have really been the batsmen that they would have been depending on to give them a good start to get some runs on the board here, as these 2 currently just really trying to survive, it looks like, more than trying to actually accumulate runs in a fast manner. As we look to see a bowling change here, it looks like is that Zion James, the younger James brother. Like I said, we're looking forward to seeing him, how he operates, coming from the Roxborough CN.
And Zion on 10 wickets before this game. And we saw the spinners earlier for Roxborough Strikers. Once they got too full, they got straight down the ground. Let's see what Zion starts here. Down again, down the ground. Once they get too full to these batters, they're going to go down the ground. And 1 run taken. That was a long single. I must say that was poor running between the wickets there, between Sincere and Modest.
Fielded by Jaden Kent on the long on boundary there. And he's also trying to avoid these birds that just tend to make it hard for you to field on the markers.
Yeah, the birds here nesting on the old field. And they're protecting their eggs. And that running between Sincere and Modest, it doesn't represent the team looking at 175 for victory. You need to hustle, be aggressive in your running. Pulling down that one, punching down to James. You're not going to get a single here, certainly. Big arms. The big palms of Joshua James.
As we come to the final over the power play here, Zion James operating from the Roxborough CN. The strikers really want to get a move on here because it's getting tougher and tougher, the more dot balls.
Already 11 runs and over required for victory here.
Something has to happen.
This is in the air. I'm thinking Zion is going to tell us, and he took
something
easy.
Has to happen, Marcus.
He took that one easily. Zion James off his own bowling and the end of Marcus Sincere, and that ball into the pitch again, and no pace in it whatsoever. And there was Sincere trying to work that one to leg, only resulted in a leading edge. And the Scarborough Mason all the champagne already on ice. I think they have one hand already around the championship trophy. One hand already around the three-peat here. Scarborough Mason all.
And how crucial, like I say, youth again into the attack. He's a very young player. He's going to just put that ball on a good length, at back of a length area, and you see that one just popping up in the air. The Roxborough Strikers know that they're scoring slowly. And as I mentioned, here comes Mr. McDavid into the crease, batting at number 5, trying to put some impetus in his. He's a kind of batsman. He's very aggressive, Marcus. He's not going to stick around and soak up dot balls. He's going to really try to take advantage of whatever bowling is bowled to him. That's how he plays, and that's what I want to see right now, because the position Roxborough find themselves in, they're going to need runs.
Wicket number 11 for Zion James. 3 behind Shaquille Duncan on 14. I think Shaquille is licking his lips here because he'll want to finish as the tournament's leading wicket taker. Martin McDavid, as you mentioned, he's not a man to muck around whatsoever. Certainly will be fancying his chances against Zion James.
The local lad, Martin McDavid, is from Roxborough, so he's going to have the support of his local fans here, looking to see if he could make a difference in this game right now. And this is the opportunity. This is why we play, Marcus. Sometimes you just have to come to the front and show your skills as a cricketer and try to take the game away from the opposition.
I think given the position that they are in now, you have no choice but to go bang. Martin McDavid down the ground. But an interesting piece of field set here by Orlando James. And it worked immediately. I think they have done their homework, Scarborough Mason all.
Yeah, a straightish mid-on there, very short, as well as a mid-on who's slightly wider. So clearly they're doing some kind of homework here.
McDavid swings! A long appeal there. But off his leg and fielded by Brandon Matt, the keeper. Immediately,
the hike.
Martin McDavid is not going to muck around whatsoever. And why not?
Yeah, that's the way he plays, actually, Marcus. So, like I say, he's exciting to watch because it's either you or him. He goes after the bowling.
And James, a false start there. And James is bowling very smartly here. Getting the ball into the pitch. He doesn't want to get too full to McDavid. Short again, that's a good delivery. Really good over, good start to his spell. Zion James. And he will tell you if he has been the man to lead Scarborough Mason Hall in this T20 format. One of the local players I'm really loving, and the fact that they have gotten the exposure and rubbing shoulders with Joshua James. Joshua James sat in so many dressing rooms, rubbing shoulders with international players, the likes of Brandon King and all these guys who would have represented West Indies. And I'm happy that he'd have taken time to come back to his home team and represent here. And I'm hoping that he's very vocal in the dressing room here in Tobago that he can pass on his experience to these youngsters. We're getting ready to see Sukhdev Singh. I can tell you, watch me. He looks very unassuming for a bowler. With his leg breaks, he's going to throw it very high in the air, but he gets purchased. And again, you have to hit the ball with his pace. He has been very successful this season for Scarborough Masonol with bat and ball. He's going to come in here and he's going to be bowling first up to Modest. The field well set here and deep mid wicket. Square leg, a man in long on. Joshua James, very tall Joshua James in long off. We've got Rashad Ford, the very tall fielders. Again, these guys have done their homework. Orlando James, the captain. Again, high up in the air. It's going to go down the gong. And it's going to go all the way for a TCA maximum. Modest is going to need a lot of doors. And what a welcome to the bowling here for Nicholas Sukhdev Singh.
Getting back some of his own medicine there, Marcus, as he has been striking these bowlers as well over the fence. So he gets some of his own back there right now as he comes into the attack. Like you say, a very slow bowler. Bowls very slow back into the pitch.
I felt that Josh was a bit too wide. This time he's a bit straighter. I think this is the correct field for Sukhdev Singh. And Sukhdev Singh comes in again to Modest. Modest is swinging. He's trying to get another maximum, and why not? And only resulted in an edge field there by Fabrice.
How much air did he give that one, Marcus?
Oh my goodness, that was like about 40 miles per hour. Very slow, but you need to hit it. And the boundaries aren't too big here, so just need to get contact. Get as close as possible to the pitch of the ball.
What I can tell you here, Marcus, is that this is going to be interesting. Martin McDavid is not going to block any deliveries from Sukhdev Singh once he continues to throw it up like that.
I think the advantage here will be to Sukhdev Singh with his leg break. Taking it away from Martin McDavid. He's going to take it away.
He was in no position.
That's what I'm saying. Sukhdev Singh is going to favor. He's going to like his chances against Martin McDavid, the right-handed batter. Once it doesn't get too full or a full toss.
I think we're looking out for the googly here. You're going to try to bowl him down.
This one is full again. A good delivery again by Sukhdev Singh.
Yeah, very full delivery there compared to into the pitch per se, but it's the deception. You know, very experienced campaigner Marcus. He's going to know how to use his skills here.
Sukhdev Singh to McDavid again. David is swinging a loud appeal here. I think that one would have been missing leg or pitch outside leg. Martin McDavid reminds me of, you know, those wind ball cricketers.
Yeah, definitely. The kind of way he just swings for the hills from the hips. He just want to hit it far. He doesn't really care what is bowled to him. Is just all out attack. Oh my goodness.
One is it? Is it?
Oh my goodness.
He's ball. I think that was the faster one.
That's a lizard in the dog because
it was faster and straighter, and Martin McDavid had no clue whatsoever. And the fourth wicket is now down for Roxborough strikers at home, and certainly their fans are disappointed in this run chase.
How are you supposed to play a delivery like that, Marcus? when that pitch is back over length and doesn't really get up.
I think you just have to hope that to keep it out.
Yeah, but he wasn't able to that. Yeah, so he's back.
And one thing, the Scarborough Masonol bowlers, every single bowler thrown the ball to by Captain Orlando James, they have started well with a wicket, and they have been certainly the best team in the 2026 season. And why not look at the lineup of this team? I'd love to see how they will fare against Trinidad counterparts, different level of cricket, but lots of experience in this team. Talking earlier about Joshua James being in various dressing rooms, same thing as Orlando James, Nicholas Sukhdev Singh, Rashad Ford. These guys are full of experience, even though they are still on the younger side of things. And we see Adrian Alexander, aka Timmy, taking his time to go to the crease. He has a big task in front of him. And I mean, Orlando, you've been in this position, walking into the crease. I mean, what mindset are you going to have to face up here? Are you going to still think that you can get to 175? Or are you going to try to save face and not being bowled out for under 100? How are you going to approach this?
Well, I think in the finals here, Marcus, you really want to make sure you don't look silly doing whatever it is you tend to do, you understand? So if it is you're going to be aggressive and try to bring yourself into the game or try to stay and steady the ship somewhat, then that's what they're going to have to do.
I think with two left-handers now, Sahan James will look to add to his tally of 11.
Yeah, and
I'm surprised that Sukhdev Singh would have taken the ball before Shaquille. And James to bowl his first delivery here to Adrian Alexander. Not having a good season with batting hand out Adrian. More focused on his bowling. He was known for his hard hitting. Adrian Alexander love to go to the corner area. And the field well set here. They have a slipping place, and Scarborough Mason, they are still attacking, and why not? 4 wickets down for 31 in over number 8. And they're going to keep the pressure on here. Zion and Timmy down that corner area, and this is Joshua. He's not going to drop it.
Oh my.
You don't get a second chance with Joshua James. This is the international favour, and you can't take a chance to Joshua James. Zion James now up to 12 wickets, and the wickets are falling like flies here at the Scarborough Sporting Complex. 31 for 5.
Timmy, the power failure, because normally, like I said, Marcus, he was known for more power hitting. That one was supposed to clear the ground, but unfortunately he doesn't. He ends up in Joshua James's hands there. Like I said, the international player is not going to drop that chance. Roxborough sinking into further trouble here at 31 for 5.
And Adrian Alexander, very short stay at the crease. I remember some years ago, Antonio going to the crease in Trinidad. And you know, obviously, cricket, we're known for sledging. And the keeper, and they started shouting, "Welcome to the barber shop. Take your mark and go." And I think Timmy would have done that.
He took his mark and go.
He took his mark and departed as quick as possible.
Well, like I say, it was more a power failure issue there. You know, he just didn't get enough on that one to really take it over the boundary. So.
A loud celebration here. Is it a celebration or a greeting? Or
the local hero.
The man they call Bolivar. And I really have to commend Clinton Brooks for, sticking with it. When it comes to Roxborough strikers, he has been with them since inception. Hasn't changed his team, love his community. Man from Betsy's home, but loves his community of Roxborough. Another player known for his power hitting. And he's not going to muck around either. And I know that despite 31 for 5, he's very proud of his team for getting all the way to the final.
Yeah, I think we might see a few TCA maximums here, Marcus. Bolivar is like a player, he doesn't really...
Could be another wicket to Zion James. And he's now up to 12, 2 away from getting to Shaquille Duncan's 14. James to Bolivar. And Bolivar is swinging this one. It's high.
What did I say,
it's
Marcus?
handsome.
What did
it's
I
gone. It's gone.
Didn't take him many deliveries there, did it? First delivery, smashing that one over mid-wicket, over the fence, literally. And they have to find new balls here because another TCA maximum for Bolivar. Clinton Brooks there.
And Sukhdev Singh was a spectator, that one. And that one picture just in the arc of Clinton Brooks and putting that bat to good use. That was a really good strike by Clinton Brooks.
I don't know if you saw before the delivery, his brother in first slip was trying to tell him bowl that one a little faster, but faster doesn't always be better.
I don't think whether it was fast or slow would have stopped Clinton Brooks from having a dip with that one. 37 for 5. And no matter what the strikers they're going to entertain, whether they're going to get sixes or going to get fours or wickets, they are very proud of their achievement getting to this final. And the Scarborough Mason team, they have been a cut above all the teams this year. A number of their players, they are still playing their trade in Trinidad. So you're saying Jaden Kent, Orlando James, both players, Orlando James and Kent, had a good season with Woodlands in Trinidad. And always good player at a different level. James again to loud appeal here. Not out, says umpire Ronnie McKenna. I think that one was going down the leg side. From our vantage point here. James, that was a bit quicker. And beaten Brooks there, beating the bat of Brooks here, looking for the corner region once again. He's only going to go one way. And James, Zion, again to Brooks. Down the gong! Down the gong! It's another TCA maximum!
New balls, please.
And the fans have certainly come alive here at the Scarborough Sporting Complex.
Bolivar is a show entertainer. Once he comes to the wicket, is that more or less you're going to see sixes or he's going to get out playing aggressive shots.
And putting some respectability on the score here of the strikers. 43 for 5. James again to Brooks on 12. This time he's going to get a single. And that's a good result to the fielding team. Approaching 12 runs and over required for victory And in this modern day T20 format, Orlando, that's still gettable.
Yeah, well, 44 for 5 in over numbers after 7 overs is not too bad. They still stand a chance here with Bolivar at the crease with his big maximum, his hitting ability, you know, Modest coming at number 3 still there. So, you know, you had to give yourself a chance. So, the chances here for the Roxborough strikers as long as they continue to try to get runs and not fall into a hole and, you know, so they stand a chance.
I think he's going to have a challenge here against Sukhdev Singh, taking the ball away from him.
Whether or not we know he's going after it.
44 for 5. We are in for some entertainment here. And from the crowd, they deserve that entertainment. Scarborough Mason not going to want Bolivar to settle here with the sixes. They'll want to get this game done and dusted.
Sometimes Marcus is big players for big occasions, and Bolivar is literally a big guy, so he knows how to.
You need a big inning here. Sukhdev Singh now to Brooks. Brooks is swinging. And fails to make contact. There was an appeal, but I think there was more hope.
A very interesting matchup here. You know, Bolivar is going to try to take him on, but he's also going to be trying to bowl as slow as possible to use the pitch.
Taking the ball away from Brooks. Brooks coming again. Brooks is swinging. This one is high.
And
it's very high.
It's not
going to be long.
It's long.
It's going to be long. It's taken right on the boundary's edge by Rashad Ford. And these guys are not going to drop many at all.
The importance of height, Marcus.
And not just height, you know, the experience of Rashad Ford to balance himself and take that one expertly.
Very composed, very
composed. And we saw one earlier in the innings of Scarborough Mason, where Crook would have taken it at the long off boundary, but he didn't maintain his balance and had to push it back in. But there was Rashad Ford judging that one expertly, and Quinton Brooks has to make his way back. Brief entertainment there from Quinton Brooks, the legend, the myth. Quinton Brooks, aka Bolivar, wicket number 7.
Another entertaining innings from Bolivar there. You know, he comes in and he tries to put some impetus into the innings, so you're not going to be surprised when you see he plays these aggressive shots. That one was almost over, but because of the importance of height, because Rashad Ford is one of the taller players on the boundary there, and you see he needed his height to come in to play there to really be able to take that catch there and stay within the boundary.
44 for 6. That's the score here at the Scarborough Sporting Complex. And if you're just joining us, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for supporting the Tobago Cricket Association as Nolan Orr, the new batter, walks to the crease. This is the Earl Arthur T20 final. Our final match of the 2026 season. You know, into the rainy season. Well, not now into the rainy season. Traditionally, June produces a lot of rain. We got rain yesterday and today. Sukhdev Singh with 2 wickets for 7 runs.
We want to still be thankful for the fact that we still was able to get the cricket to play, and for all the supporters that came out to see a good game of cricket. I think so far it cannot be disappointed when you see the stars on show and how they execute the different skills across the format, you know, St. Marcus.
Sukhdev Singh to Nolan Orr. Nolan is trying to swing this one, but he's off the mark immediately. Nolan Orr, and also a big hitter. The groundsman right here in the Scarborough Sporting Complex. Anyone should know the pitch better, or should know how this pitch will play. It's Nolan Orr, the local curator here.
As we see another teaser there from Sukhdev Singh. He's going to keep throwing it up, hoping to get some purchase from the wicket, or you know, deceive the batsman with his different variations.
Sukhdev Singh looking for a 3rd wicket to Modest. Still there. Modest is striking this one. That's a magnificent shot. Oh my goodness, I think that's a shot of the day, you know.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I think that's a shot of the day.
Classy. Timing. Everything was right with that shot where he goes over is that extra cover, Marcus.
I think he went against the spin of the ball and he got very close. Very classy shot there by Modest. He's now up to 18 and that brought up the 50 for Roxborough strikers. That's a milestone.
Yeah, keeping themselves in the game here still.
Modest, he came in at 3 and
required one rate up to 12.2 there as we move on to 51 for 6. Hitting over number 9. As we see Modest playing that one off the back foot into the cover fielder there. No run.
So that's going to bring to an end over number 9, 51 for 6. And the required weight now up to 12.4. A target 175. You've seen some good cricket by Scarborough Mason all today. I think the strikers, they would have wanted to restrict the Scarborough Masonol team to a lower score, having won the toss and inserting the Scarborough Masonol team to bat. But some good power hitting from the likes of Sukhdev Singh and late order hitting from Joshua James and Shaquille Duncan propelled them to 174. And then really good work with the ball in hand from Rashad Ford and Orlando James pegged back the batters for strikers. And we now have Zion James and Nicholas Sukhdev Singh, the spinners, in action. 4 wickets to the name already. Zion looking for wicket number 3 and starts here to Nola Noor. Noor in a different top to his teammates.
Yeah, well, as we keep a little track on the sixes count markers, Roxborough strikers striking 5 sixes so far compared to 13 from the Scarborough Masonol team. I mean, that's going to make the difference, like I said. So as long as they continue to keep themselves in the game, you never know.
Nolan swinging and missing. Not taken cleanly by keeper Brandon Markbrunk, but still prevented a bye. And Orlando still cheering his team on. And these guys are professional. Despite the score, they want to finish it off. Oh, just short of James. He got the edge there. Again into the pitch here, Zion. A very confident young man.
What I like with Zion is his consistency. He tries to bowl in this nagging length, so that's very good for him. He always tries to maintain that repeatable action. These are good assets to have as a bowler. You know, he always maintains a certain control over what you're doing. So
good comeback again by James. Got a backward pointer slip. Cover point on the boundary, short cover. And long on mid wickets and long off. A corner and a square leg on the boundary. Nolan swings and misses. And the stumps disturbed by the very efficient Brandon Markbrunk. Very good. And as I said earlier, very quiet behind the stumps here, Brandon Markbrunk, but does his work expertly. And father and mother will be very proud of him. And Laurel Brong and Brian Brown, the coach of this team, the manager of this team. In fact, we got some coaches, Joel Kirk and Brian Brown, the manager, Kelvin Roberts, Edmund Cunningham in the mix as well. These are foundation members of the Scarborough Masonol team, and they're going to be very proud of their team and their performance this year. I mean, when you stand up for a season, you want to be successful. It's about winning trophies and medals. And Scarborough Masonol, they are well prepared, well oiled. One of the teams in the Tobago Cricket Association League are just showing up on weekends and participating. These players, they are training every single day, and they come out every weekend and they put on a show. And now we are going to see the leading wicket taker in the tournament, Shaquille Duncan, the man from Golden Lane, Tobago. Very, very productive with his off spin. And certainly one of the players in line to be the cricketer of the tournament. And he's going to bowl to Modest on 18, the highest score so far for the Roxborough strikers. He's going to come around the wicket. And umpire Skeeter going to take a breath here as we approach 5 p.m. in the beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. Duncan here to Modest. And Modest is working that one down to...
Wow. Just past slip there. You know, he edged that one, and I think Orlando James thought he was in with a chance, but just past his left outstretched hand, and that one they get 2
runs. And I think what the strikers are going to attempt, given the required run rate up to 13.8, they'll want to put some respectability on the score. And Modest up to 20. And this time he's driving this one. Brilliant feeling again. That's the youngster, Fabrice Linger, the youngest on the field here for Scarborough Masonol, throwing his body on the line. His father is going to be very proud in the stands there, Kerry Lynch.
Always good to see the youth in the cricket markers. They tend to have the talent and the abilities, and it's always good to see that they could move around in the field mobile. They run quick between the wickets. I just love to see the youths in the cricket.
Yes, indeed, and it's all about giving them the opportunity to showcase their talent. I mean, when I started to play, a good delivery again by Shaquille. When I started to play, I started off with wind ball cricket, and I was very afraid of the hard ball, but some people saw potential in me, and I transitioned into the hard ball. This is Nolan down the gong here to Joshua. Not going to beat Joshua there whatsoever. The experience of Joshua James transitioned into the hard ball, what we call conventional cricket. And still was afraid, but I mean, when you get some good scores behind your name, get confident, and you want to excel. It's always good to mix the youngsters with the senior players. And that's what we have seen of this Scarborough Mason Hall team. These guys, they came through the ranks. And I keep saying that because when it comes to club cricket or franchise cricket in this country, and you look at the likes of Queen's Park in Trinidad, and they have players from all over Trinidad and Tobago playing with the Queen's Park Cricket Club. But this Scarborough Mason Hall team, they have built this team, and they are now bearing fruit and reaping all the hard work that Brian Bung and the franchise would have put in.
As he gets a little on the edge there, that's Nolan Orr trying to get back for 2. Just edging that one beneath the keeper, going down to third man, and they get an easy 2 runs there. Score moves on to 57 for 6.
So you definitely can't be jealous of the team. And as a player, Antonio, or any other team, you'll want to play against this team and be successful against this team. And once you are successful against this team, you feel a sense of what? Reward that you excelled against this lineup.
Exactly, Marcus. And as a sportsman, that's the thing you thrive on. You thrive on competition. What really brings out the best in you, and how could you be able to execute your different skills and showcase? Because it's about entertainment. For me as a player, I like to entertain, hit sixes, play different shots, and these kind of things. And everybody have the different things that make you passionate about the sport. And once you play with love, sometimes you tend to bring out your best.
And we see Zion James into his final over. And he has a maiden to his name, 2 for 15 from his 3 overs, 1 over to come. This is a really good spell by James.
Exactly, and one of the reasons why I want to elaborate on the youths in the game, it tends to take them away from the different...
This is a modest my word!
That is not modest. That is beautifully hit straight down the ground for 6. Modest still there.
And I keep saying it, Antonio, once you get too full to the batters on this pitch, and you are competent enough as a batter, you can play through the line, down the ground, 6 runs. And Mothers, despite the score being 64 for 6, I think he has played excellently here for Roxborough Strikers, putting some respectability on the score here for the Strikers.
Yeah, he moving on to 28 of 20 deliveries there with 3 maximums. I mean, that's a really good innings he playing here for his team.
14.5 required for victory. Still 111 required.
Strike rate 140. Very good. I accept that any day. That's a great strike rate to have,
And Mothers is pulling the figures here, the beautiful figures of Zion James. He's not going to like that. Let's see how he comes back here now. And this is Zion James from the C end. Mothers swinging this one. They're going to get one here, and I think he's going to settle for 1.
I think what we've seen here, Marcus, is our batsman really played himself in and could assess the wicket. That he's actually backing himself to wait for the bad deliveries before and that's what really making a difference in this innings as you watch him.
Yeah.
How he's playing right now. He seems to be more confident and sure about what he's trying to do.
And that's the thing here. Strikers, they bowl first, and I'm certain that they would have seen the nature of the pitch, and the batters would have actually noted, the areas in which they can score. And I'm surprised that they came out and,
Exactly. Marcus and Jason.
Yeah, they got to 6 wickets down. Only 65 runs on the board.
This
is a lot. This is now Nolan Joshua. You can't get close to Joshua again.
Another one. He's taking it quite easily.
You cannot go close to Joshua James. He's going to take it in his sleep.
Wow.
The big palm of Joshua James showcasing why he's our international player. And I say our international player because we are very proud of Joshua James.
Long levers again, Marcus. You see how many
Yet
steps
another
it took
catch
to get across there.
And we have seen some really good catches here today. And catches when you matches. Zion James, wicket number 3. He's now up to 13. Can he finish his spell with 14? I think that will represent a really good season with bowling hand for Zion James. And he's going to tell the whole of Tobago that Zion James, bowls Scarborough Mason Hall to title number 3 here in this Earl after T20 tournament.
I'm really proud to see Zion having this moment here in this final. Like I say, Utah again, always good to see it. You see how confident he is, how much wickets he's picking up. He's doing something right, and he needs to continue and try to progress and elevate himself as a player. It's really good to see. And like I say, he's going to definitely let you know about his success.
And I'm
He's
happy
that kind of character.
I'm happy to see the name Cardwell Richards now, because I've been calling him Croc the entire day because I forgot his name. But his young Cardwell Richards, a very nice young fella. not shy of a talk or two.
They love it.
And I like the fact that, with this Roxborough Strikers team, they are still trying to bring in the youngsters as well. Wicket number 7 down, 65 for 7. Zion James. So many James in this team. Zion, 2 balls.
4 James in the playing in the team, but 3 in the playing lineup.
Atto James, man on the bench today. This is Zion looking for wicket number 4. And not going to get one there. Still one legal delivery. Can he get 4 here?
So basically, if you get away from one James, Marcus, you have to be careful of the other one.
That's it. But what are the combination there? Zion James, both Zion James caught Joshua James. That's going to be the highlight reel supplied by Tobago Sports Live. And we can't help but shout praises on Kerry Porter, the man braving the wind on the scaffolding there, bringing you all the coverage here today. Antonio and I just providing the wording. But in terms of all the footage, Kerry Porter, Tobago Sports Live, and taking this match on Tobago's cricket to the world.
And Marcus, I must say it's a pleasure and an honor to sit down side by side to call this ball-by-ball action here at the TCA T20 Earl competition finals here, where Roxborough taking on the Scarborough Mason team. And as we could see, it's a very competitive game. It's very enjoyable to be here and witness this match live as we see all the different players in show.
And I think we should give Zion James a round of applause for a fantastic spell of 3 wickets, 22 runs, 1 maiden, and 4 overs. That was a really good spell there by James. And I think that represents a match-winning spell.
Candidate for man of the match, I think.
A match-winning spell here by Zion James. And that's a good discussion there. Antonio, who's going to be our man of the match here. He's going to be one of our batters. We had Sikyo Singh. I think he's a very strong contender for man of the match with 44 and 2 wickets to his name. This one is pulled away out to cow corner by Modest. I think he'll want to remain unbeaten, and he will be very proud of his game. That's Modest.
In this crucial encounter here, Marcus, I really want to say that Zion James and this 4 over spell, also with a maiden in there, 5.5 economy rate, 3 wickets, very crucial to the how this game is going to go. It depends on still if Israel Modest, who's still at the crease, could make a difference.
So you're saying 2 overs, 2 over 14 and 44. I think you'll have. I'll see what the man of the match is. Oh, has taken! Is it? Well, Shaquille Duncan, wicket number 15 for the man from Golden Lane. Oh, what a fantastic catch there in first slip. And it's going to be end of Cadwell Richards. And there was Richards driving behind that delivery and expertly taken in first slip. And that's what Nicholas Sukdi was saying. Shaquille Duncan, 15 wickets in this Earl Arthur T20 tournament. And certainly he's going to end the tournament as the tournament's leading wicket taker. No doubt no one's going to catch him now.
And possibly a candidate for MVP at the tournament because wickets winning the game in the finals, making another contribution with the bat as well. He's a very, very dependable all-rounder, like I say, with bat and ball in the field. He really contributes to the side in different, numerous ways.
Fantastic. And of course, we are scoring on the Stumps app, and we always assisted by the stats from Stumps. And I just looked at the MVP, and Shaquille Duncan is up there as the MVP. So it goes without saying that this all-rounder is the man.
Runs and wickets always helping him.
Indeed. And we have a short two coming to the crease here now. Joshua Alexis for Roxborough Strikers. Again, we want to thank the Tobago Cricket Association, all the players, in showing that we got a match here today. The ground staff, you would have done really well to ensure that we had play here today despite the inclement weather. Everyone responsible for the completion of yet another season of the Tobago Cricket Association Leagues. 67 for 8 here as Duncan again to Shorto. And this one is going to go down to, in fact, it's going to be fielded in cover there. Fabrice Lynch. And Shaquille Duncan looking to extend or to add to his 15 wickets. I mean, Antonio, when you go into a season, you set targets and goals. I wonder what was the target set by Shaquille Duncan in terms of wickets and runs. certainly 15 wickets represents a really good haul. This one is pulled powerfully. It's going to go over their ropes. And who is the man there? That's Israel Modest, fighting a lone fight here for Roxborough Strikers. He's now up to 36 and putting some respectability on this score here for Roxborough Strikers. And I think it's not going to help in terms of the final outcome. But still, 74 for 8. Much better than probably 30 for 30 all out.
Yeah, very good batting. As you see, like I said, he's really played himself in here, so he's really showing how he could execute different shots now as he's found his mojo. He's going to continue to try to put some kind of impetus in the innings here as we have Shakil.
4-6 is to his name, Israel Modest, as Duncan comes again. Modest hitting this one high. Who's going to settle here? Who do you want below it? Who do you want below that one? Is Shakil. Wicket number 16 to Shakil Duncan. At one point in time, it looked like Joshua James. He was the man going in there, but Shakil Duncan called very early and he settled. This is going to be mine. This is going to be wicket number 16. And Israel Modest with a knock of 16, in fact 36, he has to make his way back.
Yeah, Marcus, like I see there, Shakil Duncan showing why he's so crucial for this Scarborough Masonol team, whether he with bat, ball in the field, bowling and taking his own catch there, really good running catch over his head. He just shows why he always is such a crucial player and why he's going to possibly be the MVP for this TCA T20 tournament, Marcus.
74 for 9. That's a total here at the Sidgray Sporting Complex. I think, I don't want to be unprofessional by shouting that it's going to be game, set and match. But still 1 wicket in the hut. 74 for 9. Still yet to see the last batter. And it's going to be Quinton Brooks making his way out there. 74 for 9. And the Scarborough Masonol team, the champagne, I think it's almost off the ice. And the trophy, the celebrations already in play in the stands here for Scarborough Masonol. Not just this title here, but it's been 3 titles. And no doubt their trophy cabinet is going to be looking very expensive following this season.
So, Marcus, you could safely say that you have a fat lady somewhere warming up she vocals to definitely give a performance here after this performance by the Scarborough Masonol team. We yet again seem to show why they.
And as we get ready to see Quinton Brooks, I'm happy to see the Secretary of Youth Empowerment and Sport, Honorable Keegan Denoon, making his way in.
New bowler into the attack is Kelsey Allen.
And why not? Let's get Kelsey an over.
And that one is smashed over cover by Shorto there. He's going to probably get one.
And by the looks of things here, Antonio, with Kelsey into the attack, I think Scarborough Masonol already celebrating the title here. I haven't seen Kelsey for the season. 75 for 9. As the time now.
No, really hats off to the Scarborough Masonol team. Yeah, the Jacket. They have played a very exceptional season, dominating across all formats.
And this is high in the air. And I think that's going to be called a no ball. The first of this match here is going to be one out, is it? No.
He missed the wicket clean there, So
a free hit coming up here for Quinton Brooks. What can he do with this free hit? Can they get to 100 here, Antonio?
Doesn't look very likely, Marcus. I think we have the last pair in the wicket here. Quinton Brooks, not really known for his batting much. He's going to just probably have a go.
And it did. Attempt a big one there, but he was bowled of that no ball.
Oh, is that what happened? No, it wasn't. But you see, like I say, he's going to just probably have a go here. He's not really going to try to look to stay or. As he plays that one into the offside, no run conceded. Score moves on to 77. Actually remains on 77 for 9.
And I'm happy to see some of the other teams here today supporting the cricket. Team Tobago Police in the house. Oh, that's a lovely shot, but it's who? Who is there?
Again.
Who is there? That's the man, Joshua James. And that's the end of the match. The stumps are lifted out of the area there on the pitch there. Shakil Duncan celebrates. And Scarborough Masonol, your 2026 Earl Arthur T20 champion by some 97 runs. A comprehensive victory here, Antonio, for Scarborough Masonol.
Yeah, Marcus, and as we expected basically that the Scarborough Masonol would have dominated with the contingent of serious all-rounders that they have in the team, how they would have impacted with the bat, the ball in the field. They basically won the game in all three aspects of the cricket. So hats off to them. Like I say, it's been a really good season. They are dominated across the formats, the two-day league, the 40 overs, and now the T20 Earl competition here. So I know they're going to have a lot of celebration tonight, being a holiday. Probably,
Yes.
You're going to see a lot of alcohol drinking. No lie, because
Don't say alcohol, it's drinks.
Drinks, okay, drinks. Yes, let's be safe. Sorry about that. You know,
Drinks and of course, just to recap the innings here, if you're just joining us, a top score of 36 from Israel Modest of 24 balls, and the next best, Clinton Brooks with 13, and no other batter got into double figures. And going through the bowling lineup here for the Scarborough Masonol team, they were led by Zion James, 3 wickets for 22 runs, 1 maiden from his 4 overs, and Nicholas Sukhdev Singh and Shakil Duncan, 2 wickets for 2 wickets apiece. Duncan with 2 for 16 and Sukhdev Singh 2 for 14. A wicket apiece to Rashad Ford and Orlando James. A comprehensive victory here for Scarborough Masonol in this T20 final. And a really, really good season for Scarborough Masonol. I mean, commendation to Roxborough Strikers in getting all the way to the final. I can't tell the last they have made it all the way to our final. And we were hoping for a better contest here, but they were outperformed by a more prepared and a more professional outfit, Scarborough Masonol, and they have made it 3 titles. In fact, they have swept the league this year, and I know for a fact that the management very proud of the players. And next year, all the teams, all the competing teams in the Tobago Cricket Association League, they will want to do much better if they got to challenge the Scarborough Masonol team.
Yeah, Marcus, and as we come to a close to this 2026 season, you know, as a fellow player yourself, what do you think are some of the things that we would look back to and say that we could probably improve on for the next season coming up? What do you think about probably the winning team go forward to a different level of cricket in Trinidad? I don't know, that is something I was always wondering, because we could get the exposure and the different, you know.
I know that's an interesting conversation in terms of having the winners in Tobago move on to a higher level of cricket, and no doubt I will love to see that happen, because we used to play in what we call the court interzone, and CMU United won that title nationally. And then CMB United also participated in what we call the North Championships. That was a 2-day league. And because of funding, the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board would have actually ended those initiatives. And I know conversations have already started to have a Tobago team, or the Tobago winners, participate in those tournaments come next year. But again, it comes down to finances and sponsors. And I'm hoping that the Cricket Board and even the Tobago Cricket Association, they start putting their house in order from now to try to ensure that the Tobago cricketers, they have another level in which they can challenge themselves. And I mentioned earlier that this Scarborough Masonol team can compete at the highest level, given the caliber of players that they have. And not only the Scarborough Masonol players, it have other players throughout the Tobago League. I think that they will want to challenge themselves besides just playing in the Tobago circuit. So again, I'm hoping that come next year, we're going to have that situation.
And yeah, Marcus, what about you? Do you called it a day, as you see Ken Williamson, one of the international players, looking to call it a day with all the class he has, and I think it's time. What do you think?
Cricketers don't call it a day at all. You know, we have different levels of cricket. You maybe seeing me participate in more over 40 matches, or the matches where I just have to bend the elbows with a glass in hand. I'm not going to call those matches, but yeah, I'm still very passionate about Kenam Monaco Sports Club, and I'm going to be in and around the team. If it is that it requires me to play 1 and 2 matches, I'm going to do that, but I don't see myself playing an active role on the field. I'm more off the field, like management-wise. But if it is that for some strange reason we can't field an 11, you're going to see me out there still trying to motivate the youngsters. But we're definitely looking for some more youngsters coming out of Kenam Monaco Compoint to represent CMB United, because, I mean, how long can I play or the senior players play?
And as I mentioned that, I think you all have a player, Niall Devines, a very interesting youth player who seems to be very competent in the way he plays. Because at that age, to be playing cricket with senior cricketers, you know, it's really something special to see when you watch the youths and how they actually come out and still be at a competitive level when they're so young.
Fantastic. And we're getting ready to see the presentation ceremony. And just to go into the stats here, Jason Posad ended with the most runs, 262 runs. The next best was 230. Most wickets, Shakil Duncan with 16. And Zion James ended on 13. Ronaldo Lizama out of Airport Authority on 11. And then we had Shaquille Thomas from CMB United on 10. Also with double figures, Freedom McKenna from Tobago Police with 10. The highest individual score, Joshua James with 93 unbeaten. The best bowling figures, Keelan Hamilton from Tobago Police, 4 wickets for 6 runs. That was amazing. And the person with the most sixes, Simmons Peters from CMB United with 15. Israel Modest we saw earlier with 13. The most fours, Jason Posada with 41 fours. Yeah, and we had some stumpings as well. Aaron Alexander with 5 stumpings to his name. And as I mentioned earlier to you, Antonio, the MVP based on the app that we have here, Shaquille Duncan with an average of 51.7, and he leads the charge for the MVP as we are about to set up for the presentation ceremony. The teams are there. I'm seeing President of the Tobago Cricket Association, Mr. Cohen John. He is, of course, there as well, the Treasurer from the Tobago Cricket Association. We have Lincoln Nelson, and the players are there getting ready for the presentation of awards.
Yeah, Marcus, and as we call the curtains on this 2026 season, you know, it was really a nice, special season. Glad to see that the cricket's still playing, and we was able to be a part of it, and we just hope that it continues now, boy. From here on in the future, we hope to get better conditions to play cricket, better facilities in the future to probably be able to practice and just on a whole improve the cricket in Tobago so that we could compete better and, you know, enjoy the sport. It's a lovely sport, cricket.
Fantastic, and it was really nice being here today, Antonio. I think we did an extremely good job. In terms of calling it and informing the viewers online. Again, I want to say congratulations to Scarborough Mason on a successful season. I want to say congratulations to the Tobago Cricket Association for completing yet another season, and I wish all the guys all the best until we meet again, Antonio.
Yeah, for sure, Marcus, and it was definitely a pleasure sitting alongside you calling this TCA T20 final, and hopefully in the future we're going to be able to do this again sometime, Marcus. Have a good holiday.
Indeed.
So we are calling on Mr. Marcus Daniel to join the presentation party. And Mr. Ronnie McKenna to stop talking to that gentleman that you are on the wanted list. Good afternoon, Mr. Ashton Benjamin. So we're going to start with the presentation, and of course we're going to start with the umpires, the men who have the hardest task of deciding if you're out or not out. So I'm going to ask Mr. Marcus Daniel to make the presentation to the umpires. And we are waiting Mr. Kerry Water, photographer. Mr. Neil Skin. Mr. McKenna, where is your colleague? Calling on Mr. LCA, comes Mr. Neil Skin.
Yeah.
So Mr. Porter, let's indicate when you are ready. So we are ready?
Just ready. Yeah, inside the dark now, so.
So of course, let's only give a round of applause to our 2 hard-working umpires in today's finals. Mr. Nielski and Mr. Ronnie McKenna, who will be receiving their awards from Mr. Marcus Daniel. Mr. Daniel, please proceed with the presentation. So first up, Mr. Nielski, while we await the Minister, the Secretary. And he will be followed by Mr. Ronnie McKenna. Thank you, gentlemen, for a good game. You will hardly notice. And the hallmark of a good umpire is one that you don't notice or official. So we're calling now on the members of the Roxborough Strikers to collect their medals. Roxborough Strikers, Mr. Jason Bassat, could you lead your players to collect your medals? Jason? We're going to ask Marcus to continue to present the medals to the runners-up. And of course, Scarborough Mason Hall will still stay on the side. So let's give a round of applause to the runners-up, the finalists today, led by Jason Bassat. Congratulations again to Roxborough Strikers of the final. And thank you, Mr. Daniel. I'll now call on Dr. Arthur to assist with the presentation for the man of the match in today's game. So, the man of the match in today's game, this gentleman made 44 runs, and when he was bowling, he got 2 for 14. Mr. Nicholas Subdio. For 14 and 44 when he got it. Well done, sir. Congratulations. We're going to continue with some individual awards for the entire tournament. Most runs, and I believe that award goes to, and here we're going to continue with Dr. Arthur, goes to the captain of Roxborough Strikers, Mr. Jason Bassat. Receiving the award for the most wickets in the tournament, Mr. Shaquille Duncan of Scarborough. Shaquille here with us. Receiving the award for the highest individual score with a total score of 93. Mr. Joshua James. Joshua James, most highest individual score. That is what I was given. So, okay, we don't have that award. Sorry, Joshua. Do we have one with the best bowling figures? So, what about the most sixes, most catches? The next trophy we're going to present for the runners-up in the Earl after T20 tournament. And I'll call on the captain to collect this award, or he will send his representative, a gentleman that I don't like, I'll meet him in a while, Mr. Clinton Brooks. Thank you, ma'am, and I'd like to ask the Secretary for Youth Empowerment and Sport to present, first of all, the medals to the winning players, and that will be followed by the trophy to the winners. So I'll ask the members of Scarborough, Mason Hall to come forward for their medals, led by the captain. So we'll leave the captain for last, and the other players will move forward to collect their medals. So we're going to ask the players from Scarborough to come forward, and the captain will stand to the front. So the secretary is now going to be making a presentation to the captain of Scarborough for winners of the Earl after T20 tournament, with a total, a check for $18,000 going to the winner.
Movie table.
That's a future stuff.
What team?
So once again, congratulations to Scarborough this morning. I mean, our winners in the T20 competition, walking away with a check of $18,000 going to the winners. Mr. Secretary, I know there's nothing to throw on you.
Brian going.